All right, hey guys, welcome back to another Gmod Five Nights at Freddy's review video. Today, we're going to be checking out the brand new Gmod FNAF bundle pack. Now, I have checked out parts of this add-on in the past in some of my previous review videos, but I don't want you guys to have to go back through my old review videos, so we are going to be going over everything in the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. Yes, that's right, you heard me correctly. We are going to be going through everything. So, what is the Gmod FNAF bundle pack, you might be asking if you don't know? Well, the Gmod FNAF bundle pack has a good handful of ragdolls included in it, and also has, I would say, probably over 800 props. So, yes, you did hear me correctly. Over 800 props. So, yeah, so we're going over everything. We're going to be going over every single section. We're going to be checking out every single prop one by one. Anyway, so if you guys do want to check out this add-on for yourself, it'll be linked in the description below. I'm also going to link down the prop resizer tool and also the ragdoll resizer tool. And the main reason why I'm linking both of those add-ons in the description below is because some people have complained about this add-on, about how they feel like the props are a little too small or the ragdolls are a little too small. So you can use the prop resizer and the ragdoll resizer to adjust everything in this pack the way you want to. Also, one more thing I do want to go ahead and point out is with this pack, the Gmod FNAF bundle pack, it is organized into different categories, so this keeps everything nice and organized. So that way, if you want a prop from a certain Five Nights at Freddy's game or event, you can easily find it in the certain tab that you are looking for. And one more thing I do need to point out as well is that this pack is mainly created by two different people. And the one thing I do want to go ahead and point out is that with the FNAF World pack, the ragdolls featured in this pack are made by Jody, and all of the other ragdolls in all of the other sections are made by Geo. So I just wanted to go ahead and point that out. But anyways, for this video, we are going to be going through each section one at a time, and I will be featuring everything that is included in said section. So I hope you guys are ready for a mega review video, because this video took forever. Listen, I had to spawn in all of these props one by one. So if you guys could press that like button, I would really appreciate it. You know, I think that's a pretty good trade offer. I spawn in like 1,000 props and set them all up one by one, and all you guys have to do is press one little button, which is the like button, and also maybe the subscribe button if you're feeling a little happy too. You know, I think that's a pretty good trade offer, so I think you guys should go ahead and do that. But anyways, without further ado, if you guys do want to check out this pack for yourself, links in the description below, and let's go ahead and check out the Gmod Five Nights at Freddy's bundle pack. Yippee! Alright, first up for the Gmod FNAF bundle pack, the first section we are going to go over is the Pizzeria bundle pack. So in this pack right here, it pretty much just consists of a bunch of different types of walls. So as you can see, all of the walls are laid out and they are into different sections. So you have regular walls, doorways, windows, wide windows, triangle walls, and circular walls. And they all have their own unique textures. So I've gone ahead and spawned in all of the main walls so you can see all the different textures that they are. So this varies from FNAF 1 all the way to Five Nights at Freddy's 4. So as you can see, there's a basic gray wall, a white wall, there's tiles, tile walls from FNAF 1 and FNAF 2. We also have some tile walls from Five Nights at Freddy's 3. We also have the FNAF 4 blue wall, some wooden planks from FNAF 4, and also the two different variations of wallpapers from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. And again, you can use these walls right here to make your own custom pizzeria. And also there is the other different doorways and windows. So if you wanted to have something where you're building a pizzeria where you have a wall, and then it's like, okay, let's see, I want to have a doorway to my pizzeria, and then you can also have a window so that way you can see outside. Or if you want to have something like a super wide window, you can do that as well. And there's also these triangle walls, so if you want to have it like as a slope on the side, and there is also circles as well. And again, you can change the textures on all of these guys to all of the different walls. So again, you can mainly use the Pizzeria Builder to, you know, build your own pizzeria. It's as simple as that. And there you guys go. That's pretty much it for the Pizzeria Builder section in the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. Again, if you're making a pizzeria from scratch, or if you just want to have some extra Five Nights at Freddy textures for walls, I highly recommend using the Pizzeria Builder section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. All right, next up we have is the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 section. So first of all, we are going to go over the characters for the FNAF 1 section. So we have Indo 1, Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy. So the main thing to point out with these ragdolls is that they are the same height as a regular Gmod player model. So these ragdolls are kind of smaller compared to other FNAF ragdolls out there. But again, these guys are meant to be the same size as Gmod player models. So that's just one main important thing to keep in mind whenever you use these ragdolls. But if it bugs you so much, you can use the ragdoll resizer tool to enlarge the animatronics to make them a bit bigger or even smaller if you want to. But anyways, let's go ahead and start off with Indo 1. So Indo 1, he's right here, you know, he's just vibing. He's like, hey, what's up? It's me, the Indo Bindo. You see all these other characters here in this line? Yeah, they wouldn't be here if it weren't for me. You better be grateful to your Indo Bindos. So with Indo 1, he doesn't have any body groups or skins because, you know, he's just the Indo Bindo. Oh, so I'm not special? Yeah, you're not special. I'm going on to the next character. Okay. So next up we have is Freddy Fazbear. And also, if you are curious, yes, the ragdolls in this pack do have ear physics. So the ears do move and you can freeze them if you want Freddy to be in like a super happy face, or you can just leave his ears to flop around all over the place. But anyways, with Freddy Fazbear right here, you know, he's equipped with his microphone. And if you want, you can use the body groups to give him the glow eye effect. You can also take away his microphone. You can also get rid of the little arm rings on Freddy. So if you don't want those arm rings right there, you can get rid of those. You can also get rid of the endoskeleton hands. Well, this is actually toggles them because a fun fact about Freddy Fazbear is in the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 trailer, Freddy's endo hands weren't connected to his hands. So in one of the scenes when Freddy's performing on the stage, his endo hand actually clips through one of his regular hands. So if you want to have that effect, you can go ahead and toggle the endo hands. Let's see, what else is there? You can also toggle his eyes, so his eyes become darker. And you can also swap out his jaw to have a black texture to the bottom part of his jaw. So that's pretty much it for Freddy Fazbear. Next up we have is Bonnie the Bunny. With Bonnie, you can actually give him his guitar whenever you spawn Bonnie in. He doesn't have his guitar. So the only characters when you first spawn them in, Freddy and Golden Freddy, are spawned in with their instruments, but Bonnie and Chica are not. So with Bonnie, you can give him his guitar, which in Bonnie's guitar, it is the style of Bonnie's new guitar because Bonnie's original triangle guitar got copyrighted. So in recent FNAF images of Bonnie, whenever he's holding his guitar, Bonnie's guitar looks like this. But if you want Bonnie to have his old triangle guitar from Five Nights at Freddy's 1, you can toggle the OG guitar to give him his triangle guitar. But anyways, Bonnie also has the eye glow effect, the regular dark eyes. You can get rid of the rings, and you can also toggle the endo hands yet again. Next up we have is Chica the chicken. As you can see, Chica, you know, she's just lovely, but she's missing her cupcake. So you can give Chica the cupcake by toggling the cupcake, so the cupcake spawns in on his little plate. You can also do the eye glow effect. You can toggle Chica's beak. You can get rid of her beak. That is cursed. I did not need to see that. Listen, I know Toy Chica likes to remove her beak, but Chica, please do everyone a favor and keep your beak on. Again, you can get rid of the ring arms on her, and also something special about Chica is you can give her the jump scare teeth, because for some reason in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, whenever Chica does her jump scare, her endoskeleton teeth are pushed forwards into her beak, so you can actually see her teeth whenever she is doing her jump scare. So next up we have is Foxy the Pirate, and Foxy only has two different skins. So obviously he has his regular skin, but then he has a skin where his eyes are blacked out, and then you have the creepy endoskeleton eyeballs. And that's pretty much it for Foxy the Pirate. Again though, I gotta say, with these ragdolls, I really do like the ragdoll physics. I feel like with these guys, the ragdoll physics are super accurate. And what I mean by accurate is interacting, because some different ragdolls out there aren't completely accurate. So if I actually pull up the Garry's Mod console and type this command into it, we can actually see the ragdoll physics right here. So this is how the ragdolls interact with the Garry's Mod world. And as you can see, these ragdoll physics are super accurate as they are straight up on the actual models. I'm going to spawn in this old Freddy Fazbear model as a example right here. As you can see, his head is very weirdly done. So wherever these lines are, that shows where the world actually interacts with the model. But as you can see, there isn't really anything on his muzzle. So that means his muzzle would clip through the ground if I threw him on the floor. But with these guys, as you can see, the actual physics are super accurate and connected to their faces. So yeah, I gotta say the ragdoll physics on these guys looks fantastic. Anyways, the final character we have is Golden Freddy. So with Golden Freddy, you can remove his glow effect, you can take away his mic, toggle his endo hands, and take away his ring arms. But Golden Freddy does also have a skin for Shadow Freddy. So there you guys go. That is pretty much it to the characters in the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 section. Again, I gotta say my favorite thing about these characters is the ragdoll physics. Again, I think they have super accurate ragdoll physics. And again, another thing to keep in mind with these guys is that they are the same height as regular Gmod player models. So again, if you're looking for some smaller FNAF ragdolls, these are the guys for you. But again, if you don't like the ragdoll sizes, you can use the ragdoll resizer. But keep in mind though, the ragdoll resizer tool can be a little iffy from my personal experience with it. So it may glitch the ragdoll out here and there, but I'm not too sure. You'll have to experiment it on your own. But anyways, let's continue on down the list with the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 section. So next up we have is the plushies. So we got plushies of the main members. We got Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy. And I actually really like these plushies from this pack. So with the Five Nights at Freddy's plushies on Gmod, we've had two different versions of the plushies. We've had regular plushie props where the plushie is spawned in as a prop, and then we've had plushie ragdolls where all of the limbs on the plushies are movable. But these guys right here is kind of a combination between prop and a ragdoll. So the bodies themselves are pretty much props, but the heads and the ears have slight ragdoll physics to them, so that way they can slightly move around. So that way they are not completely in stiffy mode, kind of like an accurate plushie in real life. Obviously a plushie keeps its same form, but it is slightly movable. So that is what I really like about these plushies in these packs, is that the heads and the ears are slightly movable. So I really do like that. So again, it's like that with all the plushies right here. Like the ears wiggle. With Chica the chicken over here, it's pretty much just her head. Foxy, his ears move, and then Golden Freddy, obviously his ears move as well. So anyways, with these plushies right here, with the Freddy Fazbear plushie, you can change his skin to Golden Freddy, Fredbear, and also Shadow Freddy. For Bonnie the Bunny, you can change his skin to Spring Bonnie. Chica, she doesn't have any skins. Foxy has a skin where you can change him into the Mango plushie from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. And obviously Golden Freddy right here is just, again, a skin of Freddy. But again, the cool thing about this pack is that you can go ahead and spawn in the Golden Freddy plushie without having to change the skin of the regular Freddy Fazbear plushie. So that is pretty much it to the plushies. Again, I gotta say, I really do like the plushies and their physics. Again, I think it's super unique with this pack right here, so I am definitely going to be using these plushies whenever I just want a plushie on display. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the next section, which is the office section. So these are some props you will find in the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 security office. So first up we have is the fan. It's not Five Nights at Freddy's without the fan. So we got the fan right here. There we go. We also have a security camera, which I actually like this. So if you're making your own pizzeria, you can use the security camera prop to have it placed around the place wherever you want security cameras. Then we also have all of the different versions of the monitors that you can find throughout the FNAF 1 pizzeria and also in the office. And finally, we have the door light. So this shows you all of the different skins you can have for the doors. You can have it regular where the lights and the buttons are not activated. Then you can have the door button activated, the light button activated, and then both buttons activated. So again, this is a nice little prop pack to go ahead and decorate a beautiful security office. Anyways, next up we have is the actual pizzeria section. So first of all, we have is Foxy's Pirate Cove. So here's Foxy's Pirate Cove with the sorry out of order sign. There is also some different skins as well, where you can have it become the it's me sign and also just have no text on it whatsoever. So if you wanted to, you could create your own text and put it on that sign right there. And we also have some clouds, mainly from the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 stage. We have a speaker, the chair, the table. We also have some different versions of the cups. So there is one with red stripes, one with blue stripes, and then there is a solid blue cup. We have 6 different types of balloons, which the balloons are transparent. So there is an orange balloon, purple, blue, yellow, red, and white. And then we have the pizza wall decorations. Again, these are the pizzas that you find on the walls throughout the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 pizzeria. So here's all the different variations of the pizza walls. And we also have 4 different party hats. We have a red party hat, purple party hat, green party hat, and a blue party hat. Also, one more thing I do want to point out is over here with the table, you can actually remove the tablecloth. So if you just wanted a plain table, and I guess a great example of where you could put a plain table without a tablecloth would be in the parts and services room. So if you wanted to just have a regular table without that tablecloth on, you can remove the tablecloth. Also with the chair over here, the FNAF 1 chair does have a star on it. You can remove the star as well from the body groups. And that's pretty much it to the pizzeria section. So one more thing I do want to mention before I go on to the parts and services section is with the office section, the fan actually does have a skin. So you can change the skin of the fan to make it slightly darker. And I'm pretty sure this is used for like the fan in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, where, you know, it's been over 30 years. So the fan's gotten a little older. So there you go. There's a nice little detail right there of a darker slash dirtier version of the fan. Anyways, the next section we do have is the parts and services section. So over here, we just have a little shelf right here, which we can use to display animatronic heads on or display anything else on it. But we do also have some animatronic heads. This includes Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. So with the Freddy Fazbear head, you can actually remove the Freddy Fazbear suit to reveal a nice little endoskeleton head. So if you just wanted to have a nice little Endo 1 head displayed somewhere, then boom, there you go. You can just use the Freddy Fazbear head for it. Then we have the Bonnie head, which the Bonnie head is very interesting. So with the Bonnie head, you can actually change the skin of the Bonnie head to have solid black eyes. This is mainly from the Easter egg in parts and services. Whenever the Bonnie head on the main table of parts and services turns and faces the camera and stares at the camera, which you can actually give this Bonnie head the glow eye effect where he's staring into the security guard from the camera. You can also remove Bonnie's jaw and also the Bonnie head to reveal the endoskeleton head yet again. And that is pretty much it to the Bonnie head. Then we have the Chica head, which the Chica head, her jaw is slightly opened up and she doesn't have any eyes at all. But with Chica, you can remove the beak and also remove the head as well to get this version of the endoskeleton head with no eyes and also no lower jaw. So that is pretty much it to the parts and services section. Next up we have is all of the different posters and drawings throughout the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 pizzeria. So first of all, we have the rules for safety, which there are 8 rules. Don't run, don't yell, don't scream, don't poop on floors, stay close to mom, don't touch Freddy, don't hit, and leave before dark. Thank you, management. So there is the rules for safety. Then we have the classic celebrate poster. Then we have regular posters of the main 3 band members, Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. Freddy has fun time for his text. Bonnie's text is party time, and Chica's text is Eden time. Then we have all of the different drawings. Mainly we can find all these drawings in the office and also in the hallways of Five Nights at Freddy's 1. So there's one of Bonnie coming out of a present, there's one of Freddy singing, one of a close-up of Bonnie, one of Freddy and a little girl, then there's one of Freddy and Bonnie at a birthday party, then there's one of Freddy giving a gift to a child, then there's one of Freddy giving another gift to another child where 5 children laugh at the child, then there's one of mom and dad, then there's one of a girl holding balloons, then there's one of me next to a big old giant cake, and then we also have 2 little receipts that you can find on the walls throughout the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 location. And as you can see right here, there is just a bunch of random text on here. So there you go. There's a nice little close-up of these little receipts right here if you wanted to look at them. Again, these are just like little receipts for your local meal at Freddy Fazbear's of just getting some drinks and also getting some pizza. So there you go. Anyways, next up we have is the other slash miscellaneous section for the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 section. So this is the final section of the FNAF 1 section of the bundle pack. There's so many sections, but hey, we're getting through it smoothly. So this right here is mainly all the stuff that you would find in the supply closet of Five Nights at Freddy's. So you have the supply closet shelf right here, which can be used to store bottles and other things on top of it. You have the broom and also the mop bucket. And finally, we have a bunch of different bottles. So there's different shapes. There's like a triangle bottle, there is a square bottle, there is a regular bottle, and there is also smaller bottles, and they can come in different colors. There's gray, white, yellow, and I'm assuming that's kind of like a brownish blackish color. So there is a bunch of different shades to the bottles. And we finally have the little wad up piece of paper, which there's pieces of paper all over Freddy Fazbear's because for some reason everyone at Freddy Fazbear's loves to litter. So there you go, there's a nice little paper ball. And just like that, that is everything included in the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 section section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. Alright, next up we are moving on to the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. So here's everything in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 section. So now let's go ahead and get a closer look. So first of all, we have the Mangle plushie. So right here, there is a nice little shortcut to spawn in the Mangle plushie. But again, the Mangle plushie is a reskin of the Foxy plushie. So there you go. There's a nice little shortcut to the Mangle plushie. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at the props. So let's move on to the office section. So for the office, there is 3 different versions of the desk. You have the first version of the desk where it is completely solid. Then you have the second desk where it has a drawer and some paper on top of it. Then the third desk where it's pretty much just a giant table. We also have the cameras from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So the cameras in FNAF 2 are different from the cameras in Five Nights at Freddy's 1. So there we go. We got some more security cameras. And then we also have some light buttons, which are mainly used for the vents in FNAF 2 to see if anybody's in the vent. So you have the light button regular and then also the light button whenever it's activated. Now we are moving on to the pizzeria section. So for the pizzeria section, first of all, we have is a cardboard cutout of Toy Freddy saying, "Join the party. Come on, guys. Come inside my pizzeria and join the party." So there is a Toy Freddy cardboard cutout. Then we have the different party room tables. So there is a giant party room table with confetti, then a party room table with purple stripes, and then a smaller version of the party room table with confetti. We then have the Puppets box, which the Puppets box is slightly dirty near the bottom of it, but we also have the puppet strings as well. So in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, whenever the puppet does start coming out of the box, we can see that these are the strings that are attached to the puppet. So that is the only time we see the puppet with strings. So if you wanted to use this as a decoration, if the puppet is coming out of the box, these are the strings for you. Moving along, we have all of the accessories. We have all of the different party hats. So there is a regular red party hat, a green and yellow party hat, a green party hat, a yellow and orange party hat, a green and purple party hat, a purple party hat, and then a red and pink party hat. Then we have different versions of the balloons. So this is the same bunch of balloons, but with different colors. And again, just like the FNAF 1 balloons, these guys are slightly transparent, so you can actually see through these balloons. Then we have a trophy of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza from 1987. So there's a nice little trophy stand. And then we finally have all of the different versions of the presents. So the presents can come in either red, orange, green, purple, yellow, or blue. And there is 3 different versions of each present. So first of all, there are the presents with no bows. Then there are the presents with the big bows. And then there are the presents with the regular size bow. Also, one thing I do want to point out with these presents, if you were to like take these guys and stack them up, keep in mind that the bows do not have any physics, so they can actually easily stack on top of each other. So I think that is a nice little feature right there. So there you go. That's pretty cool. Anyways, we are moving on to the arcade. So there are 6 different arcades. These arcades represent the mini games from Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and also Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So we have a Foxy Go 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 arcade machine with Foxy on the side. Then we have Take Cake to the Children with Freddy Fazbear, Balloon Boy's Air Adventure with Balloon Boy, Chica's Party with Toy Chica, Mangle's Quest with Mangle, and Fredbear and Friends with Golden Freddy. And also Spring Bonnie is on the other side of this arcade. So I think that's a nice little detail right there. But that is pretty much it to all of the different arcades. Again, I think these are great to have as nice little decorations. Moving on, we are now going to check out all of the different posters and drawings in Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So we have a poster of the band of the toy animatronics. Then we have the same poster but with the Celebrate text on it. So this is the Celebrate poster from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And as you can tell, this is the newer Celebrate poster because Toy Bonnie has his newer guitar, not the triangle guitar. And we also have some posters of the animatronics as individual characters. We have Toy Chica, Let's Party, Toy Bonnie, Let's Rock, Toy Freddy, the new face of fun, and Mangle, the new face of playtime. There's also a second Toy Freddy poster, which is a zoom in on Toy Freddy's face that says, "You ready?" Then we have all of the drawings from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. So we have Balloon Boy with some little hearts. Then we have one person approaching Withered Chica. Then we have one of a kid and Freddy Fazbear. Then we have the 3 main members, Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. One of Golden Freddy. One of Mangle being taken apart. Another one of Mangle losing her eye. Puppet coming out of the box. Puppet giving a gift. And wait, what? Why is there 2 of them? Why is there... there's two of them. What? Okay, I think that's an error in the pack. Cause yeah, that's skin 0, and then this one's skin. Wait, what? Wait, what? This one doesn't. Wait, what? Okay, I think this one's supposed to be skin 9, but there's no skin 9, so it looks like skin 0. Okay, well, yeah, that's a bug in the pack, but we're going to ignore that. Anyways, next up we have are some random pieces of paper. So again, you can use these as decorations. If you're wondering what the text says, I mean, you can't really read these ones because they're all smudged up, but the other two you can kind of make out what they say, but it is pretty much just a bunch of gibberish. So again, you can kind of use this as a way to decorate the pizzeria just by having a bunch of random pieces of paper all over the place. And that's pretty much it for the posters and drawings. So next up we have is the wall decoration. So for Five Nights at Freddy's 2, we have more pizza wall decorations, and yes, these ones are slightly different from the ones from Five Nights at Freddy's 1s. The main thing I noticed with these wall decorations compared to the ones from Five Nights at Freddy's 1s is that these ones are slightly smaller than the ones from Five Nights at Freddy's 1. So that was the main difference I saw with these ones from Five Nights at Freddy's 2. We also have a nice little bulletin board right here. So there you go, which this can be displayed behind the office, and you can also put drawings on top of this bulletin board. So there's a nice little bulletin board. Then we have the banner. So there is the Let's Party banner and the Happy Birthday banner, which these can be found in the party rooms and also on the stage of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Then we have all of the fun little star decorations. So these little stars are scattered throughout the entire pizzeria. So there is a bunch of different versions of the stars in this pack. So as you can see, here's all of them spawned in. So some of them are smaller and other ones are a lot bigger. So we have these super tiny ones over here on the left, and then over here we have these giant ones over here on the right. And also, if you are wondering, yes, these don't have any ragdoll physics or prop physics whatsoever, so you can put these without worrying about physics and bumping into them. So you don't have to worry about that whatsoever. Also, there are these stars themselves as props. So these are the stars that are on the little strings. So if you wanted to make your own strings with stars, these are the stars in this pack. So there is 7 different colors. There is white, yellow, blue, green, purple, pink, and orange. So there you go. You can spawn all these stars in as your own props, and then you can make your own ropes using the rope tool with Gmod to make your own little star banner, or you can use these stars in some other different type of decoration. Next up we have is the other section. So this just has some random items in it. We have a giant shelf right here. We have a single shelf, which I believe this is the shelf used to display the plushies in the prize corner section of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Then we have a cash register right here. We have the wet floor sign, and then we have a light switch. So yeah, here's some extra props in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 section. And now for the final section of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is the outdated content. So these are old versions of the plushies that have been scrapped, and this is what I meant earlier by prop versions of the plushies. So these plushies don't have any physics to them. They are just straight up props. So this is what I was kind of talking about earlier when I was showing off the props from the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 section of the plushies. So these plushies do have some ragdoll physics where the head jiggles and also the ears jiggle as well, but these guys over here in the outdated section of Five Nights at Freddy's 2 are just straight up props, and there is different versions of each plushie. So there's Freddy, and then Freddy with spooky eyes, Bonnie spooky eyes, Chica spooky eyes, Foxy spooky eyes, Golden Freddy, then Fredbear, Shadow Freddy, and then Shadow Freddy with white eyes. So again, these plushies right here are considered outdated content, and these are just straight up props, so they don't have any ragdoll physics like the other plushies I showed off earlier. Alright, we're now on the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. So first up we have is Shadow Freddy and the Shadow Freddy plushie. So we have a nice little shortcut to spawn in Shadow Freddy and also the Shadow Freddy plushie without having to spawn in the original Golden Freddy and change his skin. So it's a nice little shortcut to spawn him in, just like the Mangle plushie with the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 section. So there you go, there's a nice easy way to spawn in Shadow Freddy. But next up we actually have is the Freddy stand and the Bonnie stand. Now the cool thing about these stands and these packs is that they are actual ragdoll. So if you pick them up, the heads will jiggle around. Oh, I love it so much. So the head and the jaw have separate body groups. So here's Freddy Fazbear.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm dead. So there you go. So that's a nice little detail right there. So if you want to have a head facing one way, you can, or you can make his head face the other way, and you can also have his jaw be closed as well. So I think that is an incredible detail right there, that these stands right here of Freddy and Bonnie do have ragdoll physics. So here's Bonnie. I'm going to move him around so that way you can kind of see his physics. So here you go. Here's Bonnie the bunny. And with the Bonnie stand, he actually does have a light up eye inside of his head. Unlike Freddy Fazbear has no eyes. And also with the stand version of the characters, they actually have holes in their jaws. So it's kind of like where you could see it where the endoskeleton would be pushed through the animatronic jaw into the actual head. So Bonnie has a huge giant hole in his jaw, unlike Freddy Fazbear. Freddy just has a small jaw, but there you go. There is the Freddy and Bonnie stand. And with both of these stands, you can toggle the animatronic suits. So that way you can just get a empty animatronic stand right here. So this is what the stands look like without the animatronic suits on them. So yeah, these actually look kind of creepy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna put Freddy and Bonnie back. I actually really like these two. Anyways, we are now moving on to the office section of Five Nights at Freddy's 3. So we have the good old Five Nights at Freddy's 3 desk, and we also have the fan from Five Nights at Freddy's 3. And the thing to point out with this version of the fan in FNAF 3 is that it is a slight shade of green. So you know, Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is pretty much covered in green. So there you go. That's a nice little detail right there, is that the fan is also slightly greenish. Then we have the security cameras for FNAF 3. So we have the regular security camera that you would see in the hallways of Fazbear's Fright, and then we have these round cameras that are actually located in the vents of Five Nights at Freddy's 3. So there you go. We got two more different versions of the security camera. And finally, for the office section, we have is the good old trash can. So there you go. If you ever wanted a trash can from Five Nights at Freddy's 3, this is the pack for you. So we are now moving on to Fazbear props. So pretty much Fazbear Fright props. So first of all, we have is this entrance sign, which has nothing on it, but you could put anything you want on the sign right here as a bit of an entrance into a Fazbear Fright, or you could use it for an entrance to something else. But this right here is the entrance sign. Then we have the good old Five Nights at Freddy's 3 box with all of the toy animatronics stuffed inside. So you got Toy Freddy, Mangle, Toy Chica, Balloon Boy, Toy Bonnie, Withered Foxy, the guitar, and also the Paper Pal, all stuffed inside of this box. We also have the Puppet's mask, which you can mainly see the Puppet's mask in the Cam 8 hallway of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but there is also a Phantom Puppet version of the mask as well. So if you want to have Phantom Puppet's mask, you can have that, or you could just use the regular Puppet mask. So there's two different versions of the Puppet mask. Then we have some more presents. Now these are different from the presents in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 pack. These presents are a bit shorter than the presents in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, but the presents for Five Nights at Freddy's 3 come in red, orange, green, purple, yellow, and blue. And again, there's three different versions of all the presents. There's presents with no bows, presents with small bows, and presents with big bows. So there's all the different versions of the presents. Then we have some arcade machines. So in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, there is a Freddy, Bonnie, and Foxy arcade machine, and there is 4 different skins of all of these arcade machines. So you have the regular clean version of the arcade machine back when they were in working order at the pizzeria. Then you have a dirty version of the arcade machine. Then you have a flashing blue screen for the arcade machine, and then you have the Phantom Chica arcade machine. And again, you can do that for all of the different versions of the arcade machine. So here's Bonnie, Clean Bonnie, Dirty Bonnie, Blue Bonnie, Phantom Chica Bonnie, regular Foxy, Dirty Foxy, Blue Foxy, and Phantom Chica Foxy. So there you go. There's all the arcades that are featured in this Five Nights at Freddy's 3 pack. Moving on, we are going on to the posters and drawings. So an interesting fact about the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 section is that there's 3 different versions of each poster slash drawing. So there is the small version, a regular size version, and a large version of every single poster and drawing. So I spawned them all in so that way you could have a little bit of a comparison. So if you wanted to have a large poster and then a small poster, well, there you go. So let's go over all the posters that are in this pack. There is the Chica poster, the Chica and Bonnie poster, the Freddy poster, the Bonnie and Freddy poster, the Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica poster, and then the Spring Bonnie poster. And again, all these come in 3 different sizes. Same with all of the drawings over here. We have the Balloon Boy drawing, the Bonnie drawing, the Chica Cake drawing, the Golden Cupcake, the regular cupcake, Foxy, Freddy singing, Freddy with his microphone, the puppet popping out of the box, Toy Bonnie, and Toy Chica. So here's all the drawings and all the posters from Five Nights at Freddy's 3. There is also a random piece of paper included in the FNAF 3 section, so you could use this as some type of background prop. Next up, we're moving on to the wall decoration section of FNAF 3. So first up we have is this little human paper banner right here. Then we have some more stars included in the FNAF 3 pack, and unlike the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 pack, when it comes down to the stars from Five Nights at Freddy's 2 are actually different colors, where the stars from Five Nights at Freddy's 3 are all white. And also some of these stars do have holes in them, so they're actually kind of see-through as well. Anyways, we are now moving on over here to these vent covers. So there is a square vent cover, and there is also the rectangle vent cover, and I think these guys are actually pretty helpful because you could just put these on any map and just say hypothetically that there is a vent right there. So this gives you a nice little imagination of where a vent could be located at. And also the vent covers are see-through as well if you look at it from a certain angle, so you can actually see through these vent covers. So I think that is incredible right there. Next up we have is this ragged piece of cloth. Throughout Fazbear's Fright, there is a bunch of different pieces of cloth that are like falling off of the ceiling and dangling, so you can kind of use this as decoration, as kind of like the ceiling's kind of withering away, or also the walls just has a bunch of muck or something on it. So that is a nice detail right there. Then we are moving on to all of the different wires. So if you like wires, well, this is for you. So here's all the different versions of the wires. We got some small wires, some very skinny wires, we have these giant wires, and we also do have some single wires as well, and some more little wires. So yeah, there's just a bunch of wires right here. Again, you can use for decoration on the ceiling or on walls, just to kind of show that the place is kind of wearing down and wires are dangling from the ceiling and also from the walls. Anyways, we are now moving on to the other section, the miscellaneous section for Five Nights at Freddy's 3. So first of all we have is the cursed hot dog. What is this hot dog? So in FNAF 3 on the desk there is this cursed looking hot dog. I've never liked this hot dog. This is the ugliest hot dog I think I've ever seen. What is that? So you have the cursed hot dog, then you also have the soda cup that is also located on the desk of Five Nights at Freddy's 3. We also have a little guardrail right here. There is also a tube, which you can mainly see this tube in the office of Five Nights at Freddy's 3, but you can also use this tube anywhere else for like the corner of the room or to connect the wall to the ceiling. There is also the lights in the office as well, mainly in the office hallway. Then we have the exit sign. So there's two different versions of the exit sign. There's the exit sign where it lights up, and there is the exit sign where you cannot see exit whatsoever, so it is just a blank sign. And just like that, that is everything to the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 section. All right, next up we're gonna look at the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 section, the sister location section, and the Five Nights at Freddy's AR special delivery section. And the reason why I'm checking out these three sections in the same part is because they're all pretty small in comparison to the other sections. So first up with Five Nights at Freddy's 4, we have the FNAF 4 bed. Then we have the two different drawers. We have the tall drawer where one of the drawers is opened up where you can see some clothing sticking out of. Then we have the smaller drawer. Then we have the door to the bedroom and also the closet door. We then have two different alarm clocks. So there's two different alarm clocks right here. One of them you can actually see the text on it. The other one is just completely blank. We also have the lava lamp that can be spotted in the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 bedroom. We then also have some shirts. So there's two different green shirts. There is a pink shirt and there's also a blue shirt. Again, you can see these shirts in the closet of Five Nights at Freddy's 4. We also have some toys, the toys that you see on the floor in the FNAF 4 bedroom. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that there's two different versions of the purple robot toy in this pack. So you have this one on the right, which kind of matches up with the other toys. Then you have this one on the left, which is honestly a bit more detailed. So I think eventually in this pack, whenever it gets updated again, there will be more detailed versions of the other toys as well. And anyways, so we have the purple robot toy, the super purple robot toy, we have the purple toy fan, we have have the caterpillar toy and also the blue telephone toy. We then have the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 box with the 2 locks. We have Plush Trap's chair, and finally we have this little light. And that is everything in the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 section currently of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. Again, with these 3 sections I'm showing off, these 3 sections are definitely going to get some updates in the future. So we are now moving on to the sister location section. And yeah, the sister location section is the shortest section in this entire pack because there's only 4 props. So in the sister location section, we just have blueprints of the Funtime animatronics, which can be found in the game files of sister location. So we have Circus Baby, Ballora, Funtime Freddy, and Funtime Foxy, and that's pretty much it to the sister location. So again, there is definitely going to be a major update to the sister location section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack in the future, where there's actual some props from the sister location instead of just the blueprints. But the blueprints themselves are pretty helpful to have, which I do think the blueprints are pretty cool. So we are now going to move on to the Five Nights at Freddy's AR special delivery section. So with the FNAF AR section, there are 3 ragdolls. There is the Endo 1, Freddy Fazbear, and Bonnie the Bunny. Again, just like the other ragdolls, these guys are about the same height as a regular Gmod player model, and these guys pretty much just also have some super accurate ragdoll physics, and also their ears are movable as well for Freddy and Bonnie. So again, there's only currently 3 ragdolls in the Five Nights at Freddy's AR section: the endoskeleton, Freddy, and Bonnie. Also with Freddy and Bonnie, you can change their skins so that way their eyes will glow up in the dark. Anyways, we also have the mask that can be found in Five Nights at Freddy's AR special delivery whenever you are fighting a toy animatronic. This is what the mask looks like, and you can spawn it in as a prop. Next up, we have some props from the augmented reality section of Five Nights at Freddy's AR special delivery, which pretty much the entire game is augmented reality. But what I mean by that is the different sections. So I'm pretty sure these 4 props right here come from the Dark Circus event. Whenever you go into the Dark Circus event, it spawns you in this old shack, and these are some different props that can be found in the shack. You have this little cart right here, you have a giant bookshelf, a barrel, and also a little bird cage. Then we are moving on to the little Five Nights at Freddy's AR packs, where you have the Freddy Fazbear box and also a cardboard box, and then you would have whatever animatronic you are purchasing from the store stick out of the main box. We also have the Freddy Fazbear token and the OWO token. But let's not forget everyone's favorite part of Five Nights at Freddy's AR special delivery, the CPU. So here's all the CPUs that are included in this pack. There is Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Endo, Balloon Boy, Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie, Toy Chica, Mangle, Springtrap, Circus Baby, Freddy Frostbear, your image here, and also a little green screen. So if you wanted to add your own icon, you can. So also one thing I never realized until I set this up is that the newer animatronics that got added to special delivery actually have newer icons where their icons are actually drawn, but the other animatronics, the original animatronics that were first in special delivery, are actually just renders of the actual animatronic heads, but with the toy animatronics, they are actually drawn on. So I thought that was a incredible detail right there, which I didn't realize until now. So that's pretty cool. But there you guys go. That is it for the Five Nights at Freddy's AR special delivery section. All right, so now we are moving on to the FNAF World section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. Oh, we got a lot to go through here. So first of all, we are going to go over all of the characters slash ragdolls for the FNAF World section. So first up we have is the good old Mr. Deskman. Oh, look at that guy. Isn't he beautiful? Okay, he does look a little goofy from facing him in the front, but if we get a nice little side view, there we go. There's Mr. Deskman. So we have a beautiful Deskman ragdoll right here. So here's the Deskman from FNAF World from his little home, and you know, he's just vibing. So we have a nice little 3-dimensional version of him as a ragdoll. I gotta say, it is weird to see him in 3D because the only time we see him in FNAF World is in a 2D area. So seeing him in 3D is a little strange, but again, if you look at him from the side, you can easily see his face with his eyeball and his little nose. So anyways, we are now moving on to the main enemies of of FNAF World, there's also a few bonus characters thrown in here as well. So the first enemy we have is the Bounce Pod, the main default enemy in FNAF World. So we have this little Bounce Pod as a nice little ragdoll. I gotta say, the ragdoll physics on him are really cool. So his head does like spring up and down. He also does have two little flies surrounding him as well. So they're kind of hard to see, but he does have two little flies that follow around him, just like in FNAF World. So that's a nice little detail. But anyways, you got the Bounce Pod. Then there is a golden version of the Bounce Pod. And with the golden version of the Bounce Pod, he actually doesn't have any flies whatsoever, but it's pretty much just a solid yellow version of the Bounce Pod. Then we have the Graveweed. So this is the version of Bounce Pod from World 5, where there's actually two heads connected to each other. So this guy is weird, man. I gotta say, yeah, for a ragdoll, so for moving him around, if you want to pick him up, you can only pick up like one head at a time. So I recommend, if you do like a role play or something with this guy, I recommend you weld the two heads together, so that way you can easily move them around. But there is the Graveweed, and again, just like the regular Bounce Pod, he's got two little flies surrounding him. Then we have the Gear Rat. So there's two different versions of the Gear Rat. There is the regular Gear Rat right here, so it's just a rat on a gear. And then there is the parachute version of it, where the Gear Rat has a parachute. The parachute doesn't really work though, so he just kind of flops over, but you could easily turn down the gravity to actually make it look like he's floating down. But the Gear Rat with the parachute, I'm pretty sure the only time we actually get to see him in FNAF World is in the Foxy Fighter section of the Foxy Fighter minigame, whenever there's enemies attacking Foxy on the plane. I believe sometimes the Gear Rat can come flying in with parachutes. But anyways, next up we have is all of the different types of stone golems in FNAF World. So we have the Quarry Golem, we then have the Gold Mine Golem, and finally we have the Diamond Golem. And next up we have is the Box Bite. So we got this little box. He's like hee 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 tee hee tee hee. So I gotta say, the enemies in FNAF World are very interesting characters, I'm not gonna lie. So anyways, but yeah, so this is Box Bite right here. You know, it's just a little box, you know, he's just vibing. But next up we have is the Prototype. So you can find the Prototype in World 5, and there's actually two versions of Prototype in this pack. You have the regular version of Prototype that we see in FNAF World. Then we have this trailer version of Prototype. So if you guys remember, in the Five Nights at Freddy's World trailer, there's actually a glimpse where Freddy and the gang fight Prototype. But in the trailer, the Prototype actually looked like this. So he had a purple hat, a purple bow tie, and red eyes. But in the actual FNAF World game, in the final version, he actually went with this more dull color vibe, since he is found in World 5, which is the Graveyard World. So there is two different versions of a Prototype. But next up we have are the different variations of the Flan. So we have the dark green one, the light green, the purple, the blue, and then we have this rainbow one that rapidly changes colors. So that one's kind of cool. But anyways, moving along, we have Ball Boy and Brow Boy. And the fun, interesting fact about Ball Boy, whenever you spawn him in, three little ball props will spawn in as well. So there is a blue ball, a yellow ball, and the red ball, which these are the balls that Ball Boy will juggle. But we also have, you know, little Brow Boy here too. You know, he's like, hey, I want to play too. He's like, haha, sorry bro, these are my balls, you don't have any balls. Oh man, I'm sad. I wish I had balls. And anyways, next up we have is the Dog Fight Plane, and you can actually turn the propeller on this guy, so that's a nice little detail right there. And obviously these guys are from World 6, the Pinwheel Circus. We then have the Cake Enemy Boss, which I'm gonna be completely honest, I have no idea how to pronounce the name of this one. So you got this evil cake right here, which I think it's kind of funny because it has like these orange slices on it, and it's like in the form of these angry eyebrows. So I actually really like this enemy from FNAF World. So you got the cake enemy right there. Then we have the different versions of the Rainbow Fighter from FNAF World. So if you guys remember, in FNAF World, whenever you fight the final boss of Update 2 from the Halloween update, you actually end up fighting Chica's Magic Rainbow, and she shoots out these little mini fighter rainbows. But in this pack, there are different variations and different colors of the fighter rainbow. So here's all the different variations of the little fighter their rainbow. So basically their colors are mixed up. They have some different teeth. So I gotta say, having different variations is really cool. But now we are going to move on to the main bosses from FNAF World. So the first boss we have is the Auto Chipper. And the cool thing with the Auto Chipper is that if you move him around a bit, the gears on him actually do move slightly. So you can actually move the gears on the Auto Chipper. So I thought that was a nice little detail right there. But next up we have is the Eyesore, which this character always kind of creeped me out because it's a giant eyeball on 4 little stilts, and this thing is just creepy. It really is an eyesore, huh? But yeah, so here is the eyesore boss. Then we have the Snow Cone and Bouncer boss. So Snow Cone has a blue hat while Bouncer has a pink hat. And now we have the different versions of the Endoskeleton. So the first Endoskeleton we have is the Mad Endo boss. Then we have the Overclock boss. And finally we have the Gold Endo boss. And next up we have is the Brow Boy boss. So it's a giant version of Brow Boy, but this time his brow is in a slightly angry stance. So yeah, do not mess with this guy. But anyways, next up we have is Bubba. So Bubba is a bear with a giant little gear sticking out of his back, so that way you can go and wind him up. So let's go ahead, let's wind him up, let's get him started. All right, Bubba, what do you got to say to everybody? To all those people watching the video, make sure to... No, he was gonna say leave a like, but no, I have to wind it back up. Reset the key, we gotta wind him up. What were you gonna say? To those of you watching the video, make sure... What happened to him, bro? He got stuck. Okay, anyways, let's move on. So next up we have is Pig Patch. So this guy right here, this is not, well, no, sorry, not Pig Patch. My bad. This is a Pork Patch. So in FNAF World, we have a character named Pork Patch, and he guards the golden key. So this is Pork Patch, and obviously he has a bunch of different patches on him. So this guy was actually introduced before Pig Patch. Pig Patch is the character from FNAF 6. This is Pork Patch. So yeah, so we got this guy. Again, he's in the same style as Bubba. So I gotta say, I really do like Bubba and Pork Patch. These are 2 underrated characters from FNAF World in my honest opinion. But next up we have is the Security Owl, and unlike the other characters, this guy is actually pretty much just a prop. There is not really any ragdoll physics to him whatsoever, so he is pretty much just, you know, the nice Security Owl. And also something I forgot to spawn in is that he actually does have a little character prop, which is the Security Sentry. So these are the little things that float above his head whenever you fight him in FNAF World. But yeah, this is the security system right here. Then finally we have is Chica's Magic Rainbow, and just like the little fighter rainbows, there are different variations of Chica's Magic Rainbow, which these are all different pride colors. So here's all the different variations of Chica's Magic Rainbow. Again, I gotta say, it's really cool how there is some custom skins thrown in this pack. All right, so now that we've checked out all of the characters from FNAF World, it's time for us to check out all of the props. Oh my gosh, there's so many. So let's go ahead and get started with all of the overworld props. So first up we got is the good old tree. Without this tree, FNAF World would definitely feel very bland because, well, you know, there's trees everywhere, and without trees there couldn't be a world because, you know, the trees are the ones that produce oxygen. So we got the basic tree, we got a basic rock, we also have a little bird, which sometimes throughout FNAF World you can see a little bird on one of the stumps or on one of the trees. And speaking of stumps, we got a tree stump, and we also have a tree stump with some little twigs sticking out of it. Same with the proper logs. We have a regular log and also a log with some little weeds popping out as well. We also have the good old axe. There can be an axe located in different places in FNAF World, but the axe is mainly used as a weapon by the chop and roll. So we got a nice, beautiful axe to chop down all of the trees, but we also have all of these different types of windmills. So for the windmills, there is 11 different variations. So let's go through all of the colors. So there's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, pink, brown, gray, and black. And there is also a basic windmill that has no color to it whatsoever. And also, if you are curious, no, the blades, they do not spin. This is just a prop, so it is in stiffy mode. But I gotta say, the different types of variations is pretty cool. We also have another tree over here, but this time it is covered in snow. So this is the tree from World 3. We then have some dead bushes and also some dead trees as well. We have some different versions of the lantern. lanterns. We have 2 lanterns with nails and 2 lanterns without the nails, and also 1 lantern is lit while the other one is not. So we have some good variations of the lanterns. Then we got the mine carts from the mines of FNAF World. We have a empty mine cart and then a mine cart filled up with some ore. Then speaking of ore, we do have some ore piles. It looks like this one ore pile on the left is kind of covered in some dirt while the other one is more clean. We have a collection of rocks, which this rock formation actually forms where the cave entrances are located in FNAF World. We then have the different types of stone walls. So there is 3 different types of stone walls. There is 1 stone brick, 4, and then 9. So these are the walls that lay out the cave. And we also have some wooden planks. Again, these are also used in the mines of FNAF World. So there is 3 different variations of each plank, and also there is 3 different types of wood. So you got one of this like oak wood type, a spruce type, and then a dark oak type. And again, there is long planks, medium planks, and also small planks included. Then we have the lily pad. So this first lily pad is used by your characters whenever you are in World 4 on the water and you enter a battle. Your character, your party will be spawned on a giant lily pad, and this is that lily pad. But then there is also these decorative lily pads that are scattered throughout World 4 of FNAF World, where there's one with a flower and then one without a flower. Now, if we go all the way over here, we got some shrooms. Everybody loves shrooms. I know I love my shrooms. So we got 7 different types of mushrooms. So there's red, orange, green, pink, blue, purple, and gray. So yeah, here is the different types of mushrooms. Again, these can be found in World 4 of FNAF World. We also have a nice another little flower. We then have some stuff from World 5. We have the little tombstone and also the torch. And a fun fact about the torch in this pack is that the actual torch stand and the flame for the torch is actually separated. So you can decide if you want a flame in there or not, or if you don't like this flame, you can use some other type of flame inside of the torch. Then we have all of the different fences. So there is 3 different types of wood used for the fences, and each wood type has 3 unique leaf colors to it. So first of all, we have is the birch fences with some different leaves. So we got some green leaves, some dark green leaves, and then some faded leaves right here. Then we have it for a oak style fence as well. Again, same with the leaves. Then we have a bit of a spruce type of fence with, again, with those different shades of green leaves right there. Then we have some regular small fences, one that is a regular fence and another one that again has some of these little weeds popping out of it. Now we get to move on to something fun, which is all of the tents, which are mainly located in Pinwheel Circus. So I decided to stack them up so you can see all the different variations. So there's pink, purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red, and then this special type of tent up here, which I believe this is like the default one. A fun little fact though, which I'm pretty sure this tent actually kind of belongs up here. Yeah, there's not like really a regular yellow small tent, but there is small and big tents of all these colors. Again, not really one though of the yellow one. So I thought that was a interesting detail right there. And then this tent right here, this one's like the odd one out because these colors don't really match up with this tent either, but it's definitely not yellow. So yeah, so there you go. You got these big tents right here. And also, if you are curious, if we do set these down, you can actually walk inside of them. So if you wanted to, you can put something inside. It just has this nice shadow effect, which I really do like. But again, you can go inside and also put stuff inside of the tents. So I thought that was a nice little detail right there. Anyways, let's go over here. So we have these little pinwheels, and you're never gonna believe where these are located at in Pinwheel Circus. So yeah, these are the little pinwheels that you stick in the ground, and whenever wind blows by, they go and start spinning. But again, these props, they don't spin, they just stay in stiffy mode. So we got 5 different colors. We got purple, red, blue, orange, and white. Then we have the security block right here, which I believe it's actually called, yeah, the security laser. So there is the security laser in Pinwheel Circus, and this is what blocks you from fighting the security owl in Pinwheel Circus right here. So you have to go around the map to find keys to deactivate these security layers. So this is the prop right here, and staring at that kind of hurts my eyes. So later on, we're going to get into a bit more of some flashy objects, so prepare your eyes if you haven't already. Anyways, we got all of these different balloons. So first of all, we have these super tall balloons right here, and these strings are long. So yeah, so we have 6 different variations of these super tall balloons right here, and again, it's pretty much just the balloons are different colors. So there you go, you got 6 different types of balloons to select from. Then we also have 6 balloon walls. So these are like walls that are made out of balloons, and again, there is 6 variations of these balloons as well. Again, the balloons are in the same position, but it just has different skins. So these are all of the different combinations of colors that you can have for the balloon wall. Then we have another tombstone, which this is the tombstone from the Halloween update of FNAF World. So it's interesting that the tombstone from World 5 of FNAF World is different from the ones that are used in the Halloween update to FNAF World. So there's a fun fact right there. We have the little jack-o'-lantern. You can either have him with his little glow eyes or him without his glow eyes. So there's the jack-o'-lantern. We have the scarecrow. We have a rock. Then we have these 2 trees right here, which I believe these are inverted trees right here. So yeah, I'm pretty sure, yeah, we're getting into the inverted territory. So whenever in FNAF World, if you glitch into an object, not going into the flip side, but in the overworld, there are some objects, if you walk into them for a minute, you enter this inversed version of FNAF World where all the colors are inversed. So here's the tree with inversed colors. You have the regular tree and then the tree with snow on it. You have the flower, you have a fence, you have the little pinwheels, you have the balloon walls, and that's pretty much it for all the inverted color stuff. We now have the boat that Freddy uses, and also the fishing rod with a plunger that is used in Dee Dee's fishing minigame. So in that minigame, you have to fish out fish and try to get the pearl at the very bottom. And in that minigame, you play as Freddy, who is riding in this boat, and he uses this little fishing rod. We also have the chests from FNAF World. So there is the regular small chest that just have some fast tokens in them, but then you have the larger chests that actually have the different types of chips that you can use to upgrade your party. We then have the button, the key, and also the keyhole. So after you get the key, you are able to access areas in FNAF World that are beyond the keyhole, and pretty much throughout most of those areas where the keyhole is, there are these buttons, which if you press one of these buttons, it'll deactivate one of those security lasers that I was talking about earlier in this video. We then have the clocks. In FNAF World, there is a secret clock ending where you have to go around the map and collect hidden secret clocks. This is the clock right here, so beautiful. We have a little bird right here. So this is the bird that flies around in FNAF World that will go past your overlay that you might see in the distance. So here's the little bird, and his wings do flap. Tweet, tweet, I'm a bird. Tweet, tweet. I don't think he can fly. Anyways, we have a dead leaf, a flower, and we also have some grass. Yes, everybody loves grass. So obviously in FNAF World, there is different sections like World 1, World 2, World 3, and it goes up to like what, World 8 or something. So here is all of the different types of grass. So there is a large piece of grass, a medium piece of grass, and also a small piece of grass, but all of them have different shadings, and the shading represents what world they are located in. So you have like World 1, World 2, the ice one obviously represents World 3. You got some dead ones which represent World 5. You also have some purple and blue grass as well. So there's a bunch of different shades of grass. So if you ever just wanted some nice little details by putting in these little spikes of grass, well, this is exactly for you, and you can pick which different type of shades that you want to use. So let's go ahead and move all the way over here. So now we are getting into the sub-tunnel area. So this is pretty much the flip side. So for the flip side area, we have the different types of trees. So right here is a level 1 flip side tree. Then we have level 2 flip side tree and level 3 flip side tree. Then you have level 4 where Old Man Consequences is located at. So here's the tree from level 4, which is the exact same as the tree from level 1, but it's red. We have Old Man Consequences Pawn, and we actually have Old Man Consequences himself. And there's 2 different versions of Old Man Consequences. There is him holding his fishing rod, or you can have him by himself and also have his fishing rod as a separate prop. So you can separate both of them. Now we are moving on to all of the bites that you can get from Lolbit Shop. Obviously, we are missing a handful of bites, but here are the bites that are included in this pack. You have the different types of med kits. You have level 1 med kit, level 2, and level 3. Then you have the different shields. You have the level 5 shield, the level 20 shield, and the 50 shield. Then you have the UFOs, level 1 UFO, level 2 UFO, level 3 UFO. You have the Pearl, which you get the Pearl if you catch it 10 times from Dee Dee's minigame. And you also have the Fan, which the Fan is a unlockable character that you unlock after you get all of the other characters in FNAF World. Now we have all the different types of pizza. You have Pizza Wheel 1, Pizza Wheel 2, and then the Bad Pizza. And now we have all the different types of bite attacks. So you have the bite attack where the teeth are open, and then you have them enlarged when they chop down. So you have the regular bite, the mega bite, and then the toxic bite. So there's all the different types of bites. And now we have the different balloons that Balloon Boy can use. So there's red, yellow, green, blue, black, and then the toxic balloon. We then have the little gift box. We have the fourth wall right here. Then we have all of these little critters right here. So we have the munchies, and then the mimic, the original mimic, the OG mimic right here. Okay, well, his name is technically the Mimic Ball, but it's the mimic, kind of, sort of, the origins of the mimic right here. But there's two different versions of the Mimic Ball. There is the regular version where only his little antenna is blinking. Then you have the second version of him where everything is blinking, and that means he is engaging a attack right there. Now we have hot cheese, and we have fallen hot cheese right here. We then have some sludge right here and some sludge effects right here as well with the dark clouds. We then have a saw blade. We have the little alarm ball, which, yep, the alarm ball. We have a screw and also a spring whenever somebody is using the unscrew attack. We have a star. We have a rain cloud with some raindrops, which there's two different versions of the raindrop. There's one where the colors are actually smooth, and then there's one where the colors of the raindrop are separated. We then have the different prize balls right here. So we have one where it's orange and red, then orange and white. We then have the different types of poppers right here. So we have a white popper, red popper, the yellow popper, and then a blinking popper, which means it is about to explode. We have a snowball, and then we have all of the different types of slasher knives. So there's 5 main colors: red, purple, green, white, and blue. There's also a 6th knife included as well, where it merges all the colors together and they blink rapidly. So yeah, have fun staring at that. Then we have the water hose attack, which again, this one right here looks very goofy as a 3D model because you only see it in like a 2D phase. So this is pretty goofy right here, but this is the water hose. Then you have a laser beam, you have a bubble, then you have the different types of shields, which they are kind of hard to see, but you have this first shield right here, and then you have this other shield right here, which are the neon walls. We then have the different types of music notes. So there's a solid white music note, then you have a music note that slowly changes between the colors, then you have one that changes between the colors at a medium pace, and then you have one that changes the colors at a fast pace right there. We then have a little moon. We have a little square symbol right here, which again is from another attack animation. We then have all of the different attack icons right here. So there is all of the different colors for the attacks. So there's red, pink, green, purple, orange, white, orange, yellow, and black. So, well, there's technically 2 shades of orange in there. Yeah, there you go. There is all of the different colors for them, which they all say Bash Jam in this pack, so you can't actually change the text on them. So probably in the future we'll get all the other types of moves on here. So right now it's only Bash Jam in different colors, but we also do have the water hose text right here. Now if we move over here, we have a little grass platform. We have a fence right here. We have a big old giant turtle, and then we have 6 different fishes from Dee Dee's mini game. So this is from the same mini game where you got to get the pearl and avoid all the fishes, or you can get one of the fish for a handful of Freddy Fazbear tokens. But there is 6 different variations. So there is blue, orange, purple, green, pink, and yellow. And also a fun fact about the fish is that they all have different numbers of fins. So as you can see, the blue fish right here has a ton of fins, where the pink fish only has 2 main fins. So depending on what color fish it is, it has way more fins. So there you go. There's all of the different types of fishes right there. And now we have all the different variations of butterflies. Again, just like the little bird I showed off earlier, these can spawn randomly in FNAF World, and you can see them fly by just to, you know, keep the atmosphere feeling alive. So there's 8 different variations. There's yellow, red, orange, green, blue, purple, pink, and white. right, we then have the checkered flag, which this is actually from the Halloween update in the Chica's Magic Rainbow minigame. So at the end of the minigame, you have to reach and touch this checkered flag in order to win the minigame. And speaking of that minigame, we have the cursed sunflower. I do not like the sunflower. So the sunflower comes in a few different colors. There is the regular yellow color, red, green, blue, and purple. And there is also some smaller versions as well. So these are the big versions. Then we have the medium versions and then the small versions. Alright, so now we are moving on to the hit markers, the statuses, and also the text. So right here is the poison effects right here. We have the status points right here. So you have your team status points whenever they are boosted and also whenever they are lowered. So you can see defense, power, and speed right there. You also have a poison icon, and then right here you have all of the little attack animations. So you have a regular hit icon right here, and these icons are flashing in and out of existence. You have the little triangle, which actually shows up whenever you complete and defeat an enemy or a boss. A bunch of these little triangles will rain from the ceiling like confetti. You also do have another little star icon right here. You have some more hit markers right here. You have I believe that's a explosion. Yep, that's an explosion effect right there. And there's 3 different versions. There's a solid still one, a one that is blinking, and then one with only the yellow dot. You then have a blinking exclamation mark. You have a question mark, an and sign, an @ sign, a dollar sign, a number sign, a blinking star with 6 edges. You then have a swirly icon. This is whenever you jump scare an enemy or an enemy jump scares you. We have some more text right here where the attack is down, defense is down, speed is down. You have a nope text, a hold R to run text right there, which is at the bottom of the screen whenever you are engaging in a battle. You have a poison effect, you have a level up, a victory, a game over, and also a solid game over one. We then have the table and the chair from the desk man. And speaking of the desk man, we also have a room right here dedicated to him. So you can kind of recreate the scene where Freddy walks in and sees the desk man. So we have his desk and his chair as their own unique props. And you also have the room as well. We then have a giant sack right here. We have a X mark, and we also have this little blinking selection marker. Now everything else in the FNAF World pack is in the outdated content section. So these are some old props that have been replaced by newer props. But hey, let's still go through the list because you never know, there might still be something cool worth checking out. So we have the old rainbow, the security owl with his little security node right there. We have the tree, which this tree seems a lot wider than the other tree we got. We have the old windmill, the old mushrooms right here with some inverted colors. We have the tombstone, the flyer torch right there from World 5. We then have the different tents in the old version. So unlike the newer versions where these ones actually have like solid black inside of them, these ones don't have any shadows inside of them at all. So they are completely empty on the inside, and they aren't really connected all too much, unlike these ones where these ones are actually pushed together a bit more, but these ones are a bit separated. So again, there's a bunch of different colors as well for these ones. So there is a yellow and orange. There is a purple and pink one, which this tent right here actually has broken textures, but there is another version in here where the textures are actually kind of fixed on the top of the tent. We then have a blue, a green tent, a red tent. We have that same purple tent and also that same orange tent, which I couldn't really find a difference between this tent and this tent. So I don't know why there's 2 different versions of the orange tent. Again, I kind of understand why there's 2 different versions of the purple tent because the textures at the top are different, where this one is fixed and this one is not. We then have all of the smaller tents right here. Again, they do not have the shadow effect on the inside, so they are completely, you know, hollow on the inside, so you can see inside of them. Also, you can walk into them, but you kind of have to crouch, so they're a bit more annoying than the other tents that you could go into. And then over here we have some other extra bonus props. We have the old button, the old clock. We actually had 3 old different versions of the key. There was a gold key, a silver key, a bronze key, and then same with the keyholes. So a gold keyhole, a silver keyhole, and a bronze keyhole. We then have Mr. Bird yet again. And yeah, this guy is also a ragdoll as well, where his wings flap. So as you can see, this dude has no eyes. So this is low budget Mr. Bird right here. And then finally, we have a nice, beautiful yellow butterfly. And that is it to everything in the FNAF World section. Alright, next up we are moving on to Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. So let's go ahead and start off with the Dumpster Diver Weekly section. So these are all the props that are from the Dumpster Diver Weekly section from the Five Nights at Freddy's 6 catalog in the shop menu. So first up we have is the Take One Balloon Barrel. Listen, if you come on in, you gotta be able to take a free balloon. So here it is, the Take One free balloon. The thing I love about this barrel is that there's just a piece of notebook paper that says take one on it that's just been taped to the barrel, and there's only 3 balloons. I just love this barrel so much. But there's 2 different versions of the barrel. There's the one with the balloons and the piece of paper, and then there's a version where it's just a regular barrel. Then you have the low budget ball pit. So here it is, just a bunch of balls inside of a cardboard box. There's also a version of it without the balls inside of it, so it's just a regular cardboard box. Then we have the duck pond that is filled up with ducks. There's also another version of this pond that has no ducks whatsoever. But the thing I like about the duck pond is that there is a bit of a water animation. Instead of it just being like a solid layer of blue, there's actually a bit of a water animation inside of it. So I really do like that. But you cannot jump into the water itself. So there is also the pick a duck sign as well as its own separate prop. So you can put this sign anywhere that you want and just be like, hey, come over here and pick out a duck, you know, quack, quack. Anyways, we have the shelf over here. So there is the shelf with all of the good old medical supplies on top of it. So, you know, you got some towels, you got some cloths, you got some bandages, you got a med kit, you also have some cleaning supply up here, and you also have a little box of tissues. Obviously, there's also a version of this shelf without everything on it, so it's just a blank old empty shelf. We also have the stages from the low budget section. You have the single stage and the double stage right here, which the double stage actually has some stars on it and is also raised up a little bit more than the single stage, so that's pretty cool. Also, I think something else too is that this stage right here, the small stage, is sized down a bit in comparison to the double size stage, in like comparison to the actual game. Like the prop itself is actually shrunk down and not the same size as the big stage, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So I wish that was a little bit more consistent, but you know what, it's fine. We now have the fan from Five Nights at Freddy's 6. So you have the regular fan, and then you have a fan with a actual electrical cable and also some streamers coming from it. We then have the little paper pals from Five Nights at Freddy's 6. So we have paper pal 1, 2, and 3. Look at these goofy goobers right here. They're looking jolly. We also have all of the paper plates from the low budget section. So all these are paper plates, but there are different colors. There's red, yellow, blue, orange, purple, and the basic white. Also, you can see above there's all the different balls from the ball pit. There is no orange ball, but there is a green ball, so that's a funny fun fact for ya. Anyways, we also have all the props from the actual clean and supply shelf as their own unique thing. So let's just say you wanted to use the box of tissues without having this giant shelf in the way. You can spawn it in as its own separate prop. Again, just like for everything else on the shelf, all the cloths, all of the cleaning supplies. We also have the bucket over here, and we also have a nice little broomstick prop. We also have the med kit, again, as its own separate prop. And we also have a little cute little rubber ducky from the duck pond. So if you want to get a rubber ducky all for yourself, here you go. Quack, quack. If you're still watching this video up to this point, comment a duck emoji. We're now moving on to the Stan's budget tech section of FNAF 6. So we have the Midnight Motorist arcade machine, and we also have the Fruity Maze machine right here. We then have a big old giant traffic light, and we have our boy, Mr. Gumball. Whoa! What happened to Gumball Swivel Hands? He ran out of gumballs! Okay, yeah, Gumball Swivel Hands has definitely seen better days. So, Gumball Swivel Hands, he just ain't feeling too good today. Yeah, Gumball Swivel Hands, he ran out of gumballs. So anyways, moving along, we have the next single stage. So there's 2 versions of the stage. There's the stage by itself, and then there's a version of it with speakers and some stairs and also some wires on the floor. So yep, there's the 2 different versions of this single stage right here. Then you have the double stage, and then yeah, this stage has been shrunken down by so much. Why is this one so tiny? Oh, I got scammed. When I bought this stage, I was told it was supposed to be bigger than this stage. This stage stage is supposed to be able to fit 2 animatronics, and this one can only fit 1. Like, well, what is this? So again, just like the other stages over here, these 2 stages are different sizes. So again, I just wish that was a bit more consistent. But anyways, we got some speakers. We got a big speaker and also a smaller speaker. We then have some specialized cups. So we have some striped cups and party hats. So over here we have a blue and red, and then purple. There is actually no purple plate, but there is also a green cup. So that's pretty random, but hey, that's how it was in Five Nights at Freddy's 6. So I'm not going to question it. We then have the spotlights, and there's 2 versions of each spotlight. So there's 3 colors, blue, green, and purple. And you can either have the spotlight be turned off, or you can have it turned on and the lights will glow in the dark. Now we are moving on to the Smiles and Servos Incorporated section. So we have the main large stages. So there's actually 2 versions of the small stage, which is kind of interesting. There's a version of it with its curtain and one without its curtain, but then there's only one version of the main big stage. So I don't know why it's like that. But with the big stage, you can also customize it, and you can also remove the curtains of the big stage. So again, I don't know why there's the second version of this one right here where the curtain is just gone. So I don't really know, but hey, you know, it's just there, you know, it's there. But you can customize the stages. You can remove all the lights if you want. You can change it up so that way the lights actually come on. And there you go. So again, there is the small single stage, and then there is the large stage, which this stage can actually fit up to 4 animatronics. So that's pretty cool. Next up we have is the basketball mini game. So we have a version of it where there's actual basketballs inside of it, and there's also a version where the basketballs have been removed. Next up we have is the ball pit tower, and again, there is 2 versions of this one. There is the version of it with the balls in the ball pit, and there's also the version of it without the balls in the ball pit. Then we have all of the different medical stations. So it's the same medical station with some stuff slightly changed up. So you have the version right here where everything is in the medical station. You got the chair, you got the med kits, and you also have the curtain. Then there's a version without the stuff inside of it. Then there's the version with the stuff inside of it but without the curtain, and then there's just the version of it where there is nothing whatsoever. We then have the jukebox right here. How's it going, buddy? You want to play me some tunes? No? Okay. We then have a Lemonade Clown and Fruit Punch Clown. These guys look so goofy. Again, I don't know why with the characters in this FNAF 6 section of the bundle pack, they look so goofy. Gumball Swivel Hands and the 2 Lemonade Clowns, like, they looking mad goofy, bro. Oh, man, I hit the lemonade really hard today, man. Yo, yo, yo. Anyways, we have the rocket rides right here. So there is the version with the actual coin slot to insert a token, so that way you can ride the ride. And there's also the version without of it. And there is also the purple version of the rocket. So you have the red and yellow version, then you have a purple, blue, and yellow version of the rocket ride. And again, there's 2 versions, one without the coin slot and one with the coin slot. And if you want, you can actually have the 2 coin slots as their own unique props. So if you wanted to move the coin slot to a different side of it, then boom, there you go. You can just spawn in the prop and get rid of the original coin slot that is attached to it. Now we're moving on to the jungle gym. So there is 2 different versions of this jungle gym ladder. There's the version with the ladders in the middle, and there's the version without the ladders in the middle. Then we have the security doors. So there's the security door right here that you normally see, and then there is a version of it where the alarms and the actual door inside of it has been removed. We then have another speaker, and we have some of the records discs that were inside of the jukebox as their own unique props. There's 3 different colors: red, green, and blue. We then have some different stools. So there is a purple stool, a red stool, a tall stool, a rolling stool, and we also have a separate med kit. Oh, I didn't see this, but there's also the basketball itself as its own separate prop. So if you wanted to, you could spawn in a basketball and try to shoot some hoops. But it won't actually go through the hoop, unfortunately. Man, I want to play basketball. Anyways, next up we are moving on to the rare finds auction. So first up we have is Egg Baby. Yo, how's it going, Egg Baby? Yeah, to this day, Egg Baby still creeps me out. So there's 2 versions of Egg Baby. There is the big regular version of Egg Baby, and then you can actually remove the baby inside of Egg Baby. So this is what the baby inside of Egg Baby looks like. What is this cursed abomination? I I have no words. I have no words. This is cursed. I go back into the stomach. And with this guy right here, you can actually... What? What the... Why can you chop the... Why can you chop the baby in half? Why is there two... Why? What happened to little Junior? What happened to him? You can't rip that one in half. Why can you rip the baby in his stomach? And okay, you know what? We're not going to talk about it. Next that we have is the Prize King. So here's the Prize King. And he's like, hey, you want a prize? Go on, take a prize. And also, I'm pretty sure... Oh, nope, he has no body groups. I was about to say, I think you can remove those, but nope, guess not. I have prizes forever until the end of the earth. Anyways, we have the balloon cart over here. And again, there's two versions of the balloon cart. There's one with helium tanks and one without the helium tanks. Then we have the neon pizzas. And again, there's two different versions. There is the regular version, and then there's the version where the lights of the pizzas are actually turned on. So that way it will light up in the dark. We then have the giant ball pit. So there's the version with the balls inside of it. Then there's the version without the balls. And then there is the version without the ladders on the side. And also, if you are curious, yes, if you jump into this ball pit, the balls are transparent. So you can easily hide inside of the ball pit. Whee! Ball pit! Alright, anyways, moving on over here, we have the thing everybody's been waiting for, the beautiful jar of pickles. Oh, the jar of pickles. Look at them. Look at them delicious pickles inside. So you have the jar of pickles props, and you can also separate the props as well. So you can have the stool on its own, you can have the jar on its own, and you can also have the pickle on its own as well. So I'm gonna take this jar for no reason whatsoever. Anyways, we also have some more of these different types of paper plates and party hats. So we have napkins, which come in purple, green, red, yellow, pink, and blue. Same with the party hats and with the paper plates, but these plates actually have Rockstar Freddy's face on it, so that's pretty cool. We then also have some bonus little stars, again with the exact same colors I just mentioned, the blue, pink, yellow, red, green, and purple. We have some streamers that only come in 4 colors, blue, red, yellow, and green. Then we have the balloon helium tanks that you guys saw from the balloon cart as their own separate props, which come in blue, red, pink, and orange. Then we actually have one of the little prize balls from the Prize King as its own separate prop. We then have whatever the heck you call that thing. What is its name? The RASC, and this is in the other section of the Five Nights at Freddy's 6 tab. So in the other section, we have the RASC, which is the little thing that is in the labyrinth maze that distracts the scrap animatronics. It plays sounds, kind of like how Balloon Boy's sound effect happened in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. This little guy runs all over the place and plays some audio to distract the animatronics. Then you have the different types of tables. You have the level 1 table, which is just wood, the level 2 table, which has a blue and white cloth, and then the level 3 table that has a red and white pattern to it. And then finally, we have the cassette player. So there's the cassette player with all the buttons and the actual cassette inside, and then there is a version of the cassette player with all that stuff removed, including the little speaker on the front. So there you guys go. That is everything inside of the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria section to the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. Alright, we are now moving on to the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted section and also the Curse of Fredbear section. So, first of all, we got Mr. Cupcake. Mr. Cupcake is the only character in the Help Wanted section. How's it going, Mr. Cupcake? So, yes, if you are curious, you can remove the plate on Mr. Cupcake. So, he has lost his plate and now he can just hop around without his little plate. But anyways, let's go on over to the Pizzeria prop. So, first of all, we have is the main stage right here. So we have a stage prop, and then we also have a cloud prop, the cloud that hangs above the stage. But also a cool thing with the Help Wanted cloud is that we also have a cloud circle prop. So if you wanted to, you can make your own custom cloud by spawning in a bunch of these little cloud circles and combining them in whatever way you want to. We also have some stage lights right here. We have a speaker for the stage. We then have the Five Nights at Freddy's chair in the Help Wanted style. Alongside both types of tables, you have a confetti table and a stripe table. We then have these tall tables, which one is brown while the other one is purple. We then have the carousel from the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 section with Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy all located on it. We have the Puppets music box. We have the ATM machine alongside some other machines. We have a coffee machine right here. Premium coffee right here. We then have some different happy birthday banners. There is a yellow happy birthday banner and a purple happy birthday banner, and if you want, you can spawn in the banner without the text and without the blue outline to them. We then have another little human paper banner right here. There is also a star banner as well, but for some reason it's missing textures for me. So I don't know, let me know if it's missing textures for you as well. But anyways, we got some good old balloons, we got a present, we have the pizzas on the walls, and as you can see, these ones look a bit more plasticky than the ones from the original Five Nights at Freddy's games. So there is some differences. We also have the party hats. There is 6 different types of party hats. There is the red party hat, the green and purple party hat, the purple and white party hat, or the pink and white party hat, then the purple and white party hat, the red and yellow party hat, and then the red and pink party hat. We then have Foxy's Pirate Cove signs, one that says sorry out of order, the other one has it's me written on it. We then have the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted fan, and we also have the 2 different versions of the Five Nights at Freddy's desk right here. We have the Five Nights at Freddy's security door alongside all of the different camera buttons. So we have the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 map and the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 map and the FNAF 3 event map. So it's kind of interesting that we don't have the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 map. We'll probably get that in a future update. We then have the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 system maintenance panel, which again, this is like one of the only other things that has missing textures for me. The buttons on it have missing textures. Again, I don't know why. Let me know if it has missing textures for you guys. We then also have all of the monitors throughout Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, so we can go ahead and get a nice little look at all these different monitors. One of them has a nice little static animation on them. We then have the Five Nights at Freddy's alarm clock, the phone, and we also have some more desk props over here. We then have the locker, which can be located in some of the Five Nights at Freddy's offices throughout Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. We then also have all of the different types of buttons. We have all the different variations of the door / light button, and we also have the 2 regular light buttons, mainly from the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and Five Nights at Freddy's 3 sections of the game. But a cool thing about the door buttons from Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted is they actually have a little bit of a blinking animation to them. So there's a fun fact right there for ya. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on down the road. I believe, yes, we are now in the prize corner section. So over here in the prize corner section, you can see you have one of the prize corner shelves, or one of the actual counters, and you also have some of the shelves that would, you know, hang up on the walls where you would display all of your collectibles. So there is a blue shelf, a red shelf, a yellow shelf, and a green shelf. There is also some box shelves as well, again in those exact same colors. We have the prizes sign right here. We have a little gumball machine, which would be located to the side of the prize counter. We have the little prize corner door. Whenever you spawn in a prize, this door will open up and your prize will be delivered to you. Now we are moving on to the household props. So we have the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 bed, and also we have 3 different versions of the dresser right here. We have a small, medium, and then large dresser. Honestly, I like so far I'm liking the FNAF 4 stuff from Help Wanted than the FNAF 4 section. Again, with the dresser right here, this final dresser right here is actually these first 2 dressers stacked on top of each other, but this first dresser obviously doesn't have the legs to it. Anyways, moving along, we got some more storage right here. You know, we got some counters right here. We also have a Plush Trap's chair. We have a big chair right here. We have 2 lamps. There is a yellow lamp and a blue lamp. Interesting though is that the yellow lamp has some lines on it. We then have the lava lamp. We have a ceiling light. We have a light switch, which is kind of hard to see. We then have a Bon plushie, which is interesting because that's the only plushie that we have right now in the FNAF bundle pack for the Help Wanted section. So probably in the future, we can probably expect to see some more Help Wanted plushies, but right now it's only the Bon plushie. We then have the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 3 box, or the FNAF 3 Help Wanted box. And the interesting thing about the box from Help Wanted's FNAF 3 is that it only has Mangle, Toy Bonnie, Withered Foxy, and then it has FNAF 1 Freddy. So I don't know, this version of the box is interesting. We do have a Five Nights at Freddy's, or a Help Wanted FNAF Freddy stand. Interesting fact about Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted in the FNAF 3 minigame, there is actually not a Bonnie stand. There is actually a second Freddy stand in place of the Bonnie stand, because apparently they were too lazy to make a Bonnie stand, so that's why there's not a Bonnie stand. But anyways, we have the Chica head, the Foxy head, and we also have the Freddy Fazbear mask from the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 section. We have the toy fan, the caterpillar, and the phone toy. We have all 3 of the bobbleheads from Five Nights at Freddy's 3, the Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica bobbleheads. We then have some food items. We have pizza, we have a Soda-Roni, a Chica Chug, an exotic beverage, and also a regular Five Nights at Freddy's striped cup, which is the color red. We are now moving on to the parts and services section. So for parts and services, we have the parts and services table, the shelf, the parts and services door, the employees only sign. We have Freddy's music box, another shelf right here, which is a wall shelf. We then have all of these different carts. So we have a big red cart, a big yellow cart, a big blue cart, and then a small red cart right here. We then have a huge workbench. We have a little platform right here. We have some different size screwdrivers. We have a screwdriver by itself. We have a wrench. There is a electrical box, a toolbox. We also have all these nuts, bolts, and screws right here off to the side in these little compartments. There is also a empty one as well. We also have a wrench prop included, and now we have the arcade machines. So there is only 5 arcade machines in Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. We have this first arcade machine right here, which is Bomber. We then have Burger Bungle. We then have Ray's, Super Void, and Sushi Smash. So there's all of the different arcade machines in Help Wanted. Now we are moving on to the posters and drawings. So first of all, we have is this Celebrate poster, which is obviously a fan render. So I'm pretty sure the reason why this is in this pack is because I'm pretty sure when FNAF Help Wanted first came out, in the files there was this bootleg celebration poster in the files. But there you go, it's in this pack as well. So if you wanted a bootleg celebration poster, well, there you go. We also have some posters from the previous Five Nights at Freddy's games, mainly FNAF 3 and FNAF 1. I don't think there's really anything from FNAF 2 here in the drawings and stuff, but we have the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 posters, except for the Spring Bonnie poster and also the single Chica poster as well. We then have all of these drawings right here from Five Nights at Freddy's 1, where it says My Fun Day. So all the posters that have My Fun Day is from FNAF 1, and then all of these drawings over here on the pieces of notebook paper are from Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and we also have another random piece of paper right here which has some smudged text on it, so you can't really read it. Now these drawings are different from the drawing props from the other packs that I reviewed earlier in this video in the other sections, but the main thing to point out with these guys is that they are kind of bent on the corner, so they're a bit more three-dimensional, whereas the other posters and drawings from the other sections were mainly just flat. So these ones, yeah, these are just pretty much just flat, where these ones are much more bent around the corners, and they also have nails on them as well. And then same with all the drawings as well, just kind of gives it a bit more of a 3D effect to all of them. So that is the main difference right there. But anyways, moving along, we are now reaching the other section of Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. So first of all, we have is a little fridge right here. That's a fridge. That is one chunky fridge. My refrigerator doesn't look like that, but we have a fridge, we have a shelf, we have a generator, a gas can. What is that thing called? That is a electrical box. We have a ceiling light right there, which is kind of tilted so you can actually see the light bulbs inside. We then have 2 versions of the stool. We then have a welder set. We then have the trash can, and we have 6 different paint cans right here. So here is the 6 variations of the paint can. We then have the tapes from Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. So you have the regular cassette tape, and then you have the glitchy cassette tape, and then you have the cassette tape player. We then have the emergency lights and also the exit sign, and we also just have some Tupperware containers right here, which there is 3 variations. There's orange and black, blue and pale, and then green and white. We then have a fire extinguisher, and we also have some more vent covers right here, which again, the thing I like about the vent covers is that you can slightly see through them, so I really do like that. We then have the blue crate, and we have some more electrical box stuff over here. We then have the Toe Stubber 9000, I mean the radiator. Yeah, William Afton would not like that prop. We then have a giant tube right here, and finally we have some cardboard boxes. So we have some cardboard boxes that are sealed up. We have one that's slightly open, one that's cracked open, and one that is fully open. We also have some dangling lights right here. So there are 4 different variations of dangling lights right here, and they all do have light bulbs inside. And there is also a separate light bulb prop. And finally, we have the wadded up piece of paper. We wouldn't be here without this piece of paper right here. Anyways, that is it for the Help Wanted section. So we are now going to move on to the Curse of Dreadbear DLC DLC, which there isn't that many props, so that is why I merged it with the Help Wanted section. So for the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted Curse of Dreadbear DLC, first of all, we have is the Halloween section of it, which is pretty much the pumpkins. So this is actually the Freddy Fazbear pumpkin, the Bonnie pumpkin, the Chica pumpkin, and the Foxy pumpkin. I'm going to be completely honest, when I first played through the Curse of Dreadbear, the only pumpkin I could make a character out of was the Chica pumpkin, but the other pumpkins, I had no idea were supposed to represent all of the other characters. So that's a fun fact right there if you didn't know about that. But anyways, we have a regular, smaller jack-o'-lantern right here. We then have a witch hat, which I'm pretty sure is placed upon the Freddy pumpkin, so that way you can actually tell it's Freddy Fazbear since Freddy has a hat. We then have a lantern and also a candle. We then have all of the other masks, which are introduced in Five Nights at Freddy's Curse of Dreadbear, which is the Bonnie mask, the Chica mask, the Foxy mask, the Mangle mask, the Balloon Boy mask, and obviously the best mask of them all, the Vanny mask. Also, something else too is that there are these different colors of the original Freddy mask. There is a yellow Freddy mask, a red Freddy mask, a white Freddy mask, a pink Freddy mask, and a green Freddy mask. But now moving on to the other section of the Curse of Dreadbear section, we first have the projector. And one thing I want to point out with the projector, this thing is really cool. The only time you see the projector is when you first open up the Curse of Dreadbear DLC and you get the introduction scene to Curse of Dreadbear. The cool thing about the film projector is that it actually does have an animation where you can see the reel going into the projector. And also, if you look very closely, you can actually see the Curse of Dreadbear icon on the film. So I thought that was a nice detail right there. And also on the side, it says Willow Whisper. We then have an air conditioning unit. We have two variations of the trash can. One is gray, one is more of a palish beige color. We then have a smaller trash can. Then we have a trash bag that is full. Then we have a full dirty trash bag. And finally, we have is a nice, beautiful empty crate. And that is everything to the Help Wanted and Curse of Dreadbear DLC sections of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. All right, we are now moving on to the security breach section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. So first of all, we are going to go over the ragdolls. So again, just like the other ragdolls I've shown off so far in the Gmod FNAF bundle pack, again, these ragdolls are the same size as a Gmod player model. So again, please keep that in mind. But anyways, let's go ahead and go down the list of all the ragdolls that are included in the security breach section. So we got your basic Glamrock animatronics right here. We got Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, we got Monty and Roxy. We also have a custom animatronic in here, which is a fixed up version of Glamrock Bonnie. And the cool thing with these Glamrock animatronics in this security breach pack is obviously, again, they do have ear physics. So if you do move their heads, their ears do wobble a bit. So Chica has her earring physics. Monty doesn't. Monty has some glasses physics, so you can actually raise up his glasses. And then Roxy, obviously, she has hair physics and also tail physics as well. But the one cool thing that these guys have, which I thought was actually pretty cool when I was spawning them in, is that they actually have toe physics. Yes, that's right. You can get some epic toe gameplay. So that way their feet aren't completely flat. So if you wanted to, you can make it so it's like they're like, you know, just like, just standing on their tippy toes right here. So I don't know. It's just some small detail like that that just makes it feel even more realistic. Because I'm so used to ragdolls just having flat feet, but these guys, they can actually bend their toes. So again, I mean, listen, I know the toes are one of the most important parts of the body, because, you know, without the toes, we couldn't be able to walk. So, you know, it's just nice to see that the toes are getting some attention right here. So again, I think that's cool that they actually do have proper toe bones that are movable with the ragdoll physics. But anyways, with these Glamrock animatronics, you can change the eyes of Glamrock Freddy, so you can have the different eye colors. So you have the regular blue Glamrock Freddy eyes. You then have the yellow light up Glamrock Freddy eyes when you see him in security breach. You then have Glamrock Freddy's scanning eyes, and then finally you have the purple eyes when Glamrock Freddy gets possessed. There is also the different skins as well, which represents the different hours of the game. So the more skins you go down, the more dirty Glamrock Freddy he gets. And then also with these final skins right here, you can see him with Montgomery Gator's claws. For Glamrock Bonnie actually doesn't have any skins or body groups, but then Glamrock Chica, Monty, and also Roxy, again, they have those extra hour skins. Again, the more you progress through Security Breach, the more dirty the animatronics get. Anyways, we are now moving on to the daycare attendant. So we got Sun and Moon as their own unique ragdolls, and the cool thing with Sun is that his sun rays are actually movable. So if you move Sun's head, his sun rays do jiggle a little bit and they turn. So that's a nice little physics effect right there. And then with Moon, his hat also jiggles around as well. So his hat does have some physics added to it as well. And that's pretty much all I have to say about Sun and Moon. Sun doesn't have any body groups. Moon has some skins. I don't know what they are. I don't know if it's like for his eyes glowing or something. But anyways, we're moving on to the Shattered animatronics. So with the Shattered animatronics, there's only Shattered Monty and also Shattered Roxy. So there is no Shattered Glamrock Chica yet. I'm assuming she'll probably get added in the future. But anyways, for Monty, his wires are actually movable for where his legs used to be. So you can actually interact with his wires. And then Shattered Roxanne, you know, pretty similar to a regular Roxanne. Again, you can move her hair and also her tail. And again, got them beautiful toe bones. But now we're moving on to the Glamrock Endoskeleton. So there is 3 versions of the Glamrock Endoskeleton. First of all, you have the brand new cleaned up version of the Glamrock Endoskeleton. This boy just hopped right off of the assembly line. We then have a older, dirtier version of the Glamrock Endoskeleton, which this version of him does have some rust on him. And then finally, we have the frozen Glamrock Endoskeleton. So you can easily miss this guy, but this guy is actually found in the freezer section of Security Breach, and it's the Glamrock Endoskeleton with a frozen texture on top of him. So I gotta say, this guy is really cool and is a character that you can easily miss in the game. Also, if you are curious, yes, with all these Glamrock Endoskeletons, you can remove the eye casings, so that way they can actually have the red eye glow effect underneath it. So there you guys go. That is pretty much it to all of the ragdolls in the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. Alright, so now let's move on to all of the props in the Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. So first of all, we got all the main props from the Mega Pizzaplex. So first of all, we have is the Freddy Fazbear flashlight charging station. So there's 2 different versions of the charging station. There's one where the mouth is closed, and then a version of the charging station where the mouth is open, and you would insert your flashlight into Freddy Fazbear's mouth to recharge your flashlight. Speaking of Freddy Fazbear, we also have these little Glamrock Freddy security badge holders right here. So again, there's 2 versions of this. There's one where the mouth is closed and another version where the mouth is open, and these guys are located on all of the main desks throughout the Pizzaplex. And inside of these Freddy Fazbear heads, you can actually find the little security badge, which you use the security badge to access more parts of the Mega Pizzaplex. Next that we have is all of these different variations of food carts. So first of all, we have this condiment cart. So this cart has your ketchup, your mustard, and also some barbecue sauce as well. But then we have all of the other carts. So we have one with a lightning bolt symbol. We have a cotton candy cart, a popcorn cart. We then have a cart with a little splash image on the front. And finally, we have a old faded out popcorn cart right here. So those are all of the different variations of the food carts. We then have all of the little Helpy storage bins right here. So on the side, it says Helpy with the parts and services. And there are 2 variations of this. There is the regular fixed up version, and there is also the slightly damaged version of the cart. And again, in Security Breach, you can go and hide inside of these carts to hide away from the animatronics. Anyways, we now have all of the different variations of the gift boxes. There are gift boxes spaced out all over the Mega Pizzaplex, and there is a bunch of different variations. So here's all the variations of the gift box. We have the default orange gift box. We have a Glamrock Freddy gift box, Glamrock Chica, Monty, Roxy, a pink gift box, green, red, and finally the golden gift box. And with all the gift boxes, there is 3 versions of each gift box. There is the regular version. There is the version where the gift box has been opened up, so the springs are poking out because the prize has sprung out of it. And you also have the gift box lid as well, which would go flying off once you open up the gift box. So again, there are all of the versions of the gift boxes. Now we have all of the versions of the fold-in chairs. So yeah, that's a lot of chairs right there, but there are 5 main versions of the chair. There is the regular default black chair, the Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Monty, and Roxy chairs. And again, there are a bunch of different variations of all of these chairs. There is the folded up version of the chair, the regular version of the chair where it's actually unfolded out, and then you have 3 damaged versions of the chair. So this first damage of the chair, it is slightly bent on the legs. The second version of the chair, the legs are bent outwards, and also the top of it is slightly tilted. And finally, the third version, the chair is just mainly, you know, pretty much just broken right here. So there's all the different versions of the folding chair right there. We then have a regular bench right here. We then have all of the different chairs. So there is the classic red chairs right here with a blue star and a blue lightning bolt. Then we have the same type of chair, but it's solid white. And finally, we have another version of the white chairs, but the star and the lightning bolt are completely hollow on the inside. Next up, we have the bar stool and also the bar stool table right here. We then have all of the main tables from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. So first of all, we are going to start with the rectangle and square tables right here. So these come in 2 different colors, red and blue. So over here, we have the small versions of the tables. We have the regular red table and the regular blue table, but there's also cloth versions of these tables where they actually have the tablecloth on them. And there's actually 2 different versions of the tablecloth, which is basically just the tablecloth in a slightly different position. So here's the red table, the first tablecloth, and then the second version of the tablecloth. So mainly if you look at the edges of the tablecloth, you can see how it is slightly different. So this kind of gives it a bit more uniqueness. Instead of just having to use the same tablecloth over and over again, you can use 2 different variations to make it feel a little more unique. But again, here's the same tables, but with the blue version. So these are the small tables right here. We then have a medium-sized table, so the tables are twice as long. Again, there is the regular red table, the regular blue table, and just like the other small tables, there are 2 different variations of the tables that have the tablecloths. So again, just the tablecloths on the edges are slightly different. Again, adds a bit more uniqueness. And then there is finally the 2 long tables. So there's only 1 version of each long table. There's the long red table and the long blue table, and both of these tables are cloth. And there actually is not a version of these 2 tables without the tablecloth, and there's only 1 version of the tablecloth as well. So that's pretty interesting right there. But that is it for all of those main tables right there. But now we're moving on to the round table. So we have the round table right here. Then we have the round table with a red tablecloth on top. And then we have another version of the round table with a red tablecloth. But this time the cloth has been kind of pushed in. Pretty much whenever you have your chairs pushed in, then the tablecloth actually folds on top of the chairs. So if you look around it, you can see all the different slots for chairs to be inserted into the table. And we now actually have all of these broken tables. So these are based off of the medium red table right here. And there are 3 different variations of the broken table. You first have this first table that's been broken in the center. Then you have the second table that's just been, you know, completely torn apart. And then this third one is just obliterated, where chunks of wood have just been broken off of the table. So these different tables right here, these ones are pretty cool. I'm pretty sure these mainly show up in the kitchen area in the Pizzaplex, because if you guys remember, in one of the kitchen areas, it was completely destroyed by Glamrock Chica, or something happened in the kitchen. I forget what, but one of the kitchens in Security Breach was completely destroyed. So I'm pretty sure that's where these tables are mainly seen at. But anyways, we have a regular black table and also a regular black circle table right here. We then have a table box right here. And now we are moving on to the trash cans. So first of all, there are these small metal Glamrock Freddy trash cans. Again, there are 2 versions, one where the lid is closed and another version where the lid is opened up. And then we have the main trash cans throughout the Pizzaplex. There are 4 different versions of the trash cans representing the four main characters: Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Monty, and Roxy. We then have a old Foxy torso and a Foxy jaw. This is from Rockstar Row from the display cabinets, and this is the only display item in this pack, is Foxy's torso and Foxy's jaw. We then have the dumpster. There is 2 different versions of the dumpster, one where the lid is closed, another version where the lid is open up. We then have a parts and services toolbox right here. We then have a giant wall and 2 different pillars, one where the lights are turned off and another version of the pillar where the lights are turned on. Now we are moving on to the main character props. So there's 4 props right here for the 4 main instruments. You have Freddy's microphone, Chica's guitar, Monty's guitar, and Roxanne's keytar right here. So those are the 4 main instrument props. We're now moving on to the daycare section. So first up, for the daycare section, we have all of these little noise maker machines right here. Pretty much throughout the daycare, there are these little noise makers that are stacked up on top of each other, and if you knock them over, sun/moon will be distracted by them. So there are 6 different variations of it. There is blue, a blue and red, a green, a red, an orange, and then a yellow version of it. So again, you can stack these up, and then if you want to distract sun, all you got to do is just just approach this nice little pillar and then just knock it over, and then boom, clean up, clean up. What are you doing? Why are you not cleaning up? Clean up, clean up. These were in a nice organized line, and you just had to mess it up. Way to go, buddy. Clean on up. Anyways, we got some little chairs from the daycare. So there are 4 different variations of these little wooden chairs. There is a purple chair, a blue chair, a orange chair, and then a brown chair. We also have a nice little light blue table, and we are now moving on to all of the soft toys that can be found in the daycare. Yeah, there is a ton of different variations of these soft toys. So first of all, we have is the regular square soft toys. So there is the first one, which is actually a bit of a dice block. So you can actually roll it like a dice, and you can get it to land on a number. So it goes all the way up from 1 to 6. So there's the nice little dice block. Then you have a checker patterned one, a solid red one with some different shapes on all of the different edges. You then have a purple and pink one, a solid blue one. Well, actually no, half blue, half green, and then one square is red. So you have that cube. Then you have one where it's half purple, half blue, and there's some blue stripes on it. And now we are moving on to the circle soft toys. So there is orange and blue, solid white, checker pattern, purple and green, blue and purple with some yellow polka dots, a purple and blue striped one, a blue and green / yellow stripes. We now have the different triangles. So there is blue with green in the center, a checkered one, a polka dot one, an orange and blue one, and then another version of the orange and blue one, but this time with stars. We have a solid yellow triangle, another purple and pink checkerboard version. We then have some pizza versions. So there is the regular pizza, a slightly green pizza, a really green pizza, a greenish blue pizza, a blue pizza, a darker blue pizza, and then a purple pizza right there. We then have some soft pyramid toys. So we got solid, pretty much purple with a side of blue, and then there is a polka dot version of that one. Now we go all the way over here. We then have a blue and orange version of the pyramid, a solid red one, purple and pink checkerboards. We then have the blue / red / green one, a purple with blue stripes on it. We then have these smaller little cones. First of all, we have this blue cone with some stars on it. We then have a solid white one, solid purple, solid red. We then have a green, half green, half purple one, half green, half red one, and then there is a solid pink one over here. We then have a little bridge section right here. So there is the purple and blue one with polka dots. We then have the checkerboard one, the bridge that has red on the top, orange in the center, and then is mainly blue that has stars on it, a solid red one, a purple, pink, and green one, blue, pink, and blue one, a dark blue, red, and green one, and now we have these half a moon crescent type soft toys right here. So there is green, pink, purple, checkerboards, orange, blue, red, orange, blue, blue with stars. We then have a solid red, a green, blue, red, light blue, purple, blue stripes, and now we have all of these little cylinder ones. See, I told you there was a lot of soft toys. So we have the cyan with orange and red, purple with blue and yellow polka dots, one where there's a little blue star on top that is also mainly orange. We then have a solid red one, a one with green on the top, and then purple on the side. Well, actually, it's pink on the side, and then purple stars. We then have the purple and pink checkerboard one, a solid red one with blue on the top and bottom. We then have a blue circle. So we are moving on to the circle toys. So there is a solid blue checkerboard, a blue and a pink one with yellow polka dots, a blue, red, and orange. We then have this purple and pink one with a green checkerboard pattern on the inside. We then have the purple and pink checkerboard, a green and blue one. We then have these different donut variations. So we have a regular donut, a greenish donut, a purplish donut, another green / orange donut, and then a gray donut, and then a bright orangish, yellowish donut, and then a bright pink donut. We then have all of these different hexagons. So first of all, we got this purple one with blue stripes on the front. We got the checkerboard one. We have the purple on blue on the front with yellow polka dots. We got the solid orange one with red on the front, solid red with blue and stars on the front, solid red, blue, and green on the front. We now have all of the different type of ramps. So there's a solid blue one, a light blue and pink one with yellow polka dots, a light blue and orange one, a purple and checkerboard green one, a pink and purple checkerboard, a blue and a red one, and then a pink and a blue striped one. We then have these different rectangle ones. So we got red, blue, green. We then have a purple one with some blue on the sides with polka dots. We then have a red, orange, light blue one. We have red on the top with light blue on the side with some stars. We then have pink on the top, purple on the sides, and green in the center. We then have the good old pink purple checkerboard style. We have the pretty much solid purple one with the blue stripes on the front. We then have these different half slab ones, which are based off of rhombuses. So we got the purple rhombus with, again, the blue stripes. We have the checkerboard one, the one with polka dots, the red, orange, and blue one, the yellow one, and more purple and pink checkerboards, and then we have the blue and a red version of the rhombus. We now have all of the different variations of the half circle soft toy. So there's orange and light blue, solid blue, purple and pink, pink and blue with yellow polka dots, pink and light blue, pink and purple checkerboard, green and blue, and then there are some watermelon variations. So there's the regular watermelon, a orange watermelon, a yellow watermelon, a green watermelon, a dark green watermelon, and then a bit of a cyan watermelon, and then a blue watermelon. We then have all of the different variations of the stairs. So there is the pink and purple stairs with green checkerboard on the side. There is the pink with the top blue steps with yellow polka dots. We then have a red and orange one with blue on the side with stars. We have a solid yellow one. The pink and purple checkerboard one makes a return. We then have a red, green, and blue stairs, a pink with a light blue, and also some blue stripes on the top steps. Next up we have is all the soft toy versions of the trapezoid. So the solid red checkerboards, polka dot one, blue and orange, pink and purple checkerboard, red, green, blue, purple with the blue stripes. And now we get onto some of the interesting parts. We have all of these different variations of images on the soft toys. So first of all, we have the barrels. So there is 7 different colors of these barrel image soft toys. So these are little soft toys that have barrel images on the sides. So there is the regular brown barrel, then there's blue, green, gray, pink, a darker blue, and then a bit of a faded purple look. We then have all of these different variations of waves. So there is light blue, blue, purple, pink, a reddish, orange, and yellow version of the waves. We then have some fish colors right here. So we have a group of fish right here with light blue, dark blue, a purplish, pink, red, orange, yellow, and then there is also another variation of fish where in this case there's only 3 fish, whereas on the other one there was 5 fish. So again, there's the light blue, dark blue, purple, pink, red, orange, and yellow. And just like that, that is all of the soft toys that can be found in the daycare. So it is insane to think about how many different variations of all of these different soft toys are scattered throughout the daycare section. So it just shows you how much detail is put into the daycare section of Security Breach, which is kind of funny because you don't really spend that much time in the daycare. We're now moving on to the kids attractions section. So first of all, we have is the Longshoreman Foxy, which can be found in Kids Cove. So it's a bit of a statue of Foxy as a shoreman. We then have a buoy, we have a fake treasure chest, we have a barrel, we then have the Monty ride right here, and we also have the Monty gun. So there's 2 different versions of the Monty gun. There is the regular version of it, and then there is the destroyed version of it after Monty destroys it. We then have the giant bucket from Monty's Gator Golf, the hole-in-one hurricane bucket with the little red, yellow, and green symbol above it. We also have this Monty target right here, which is pretty much just a cardboard cutout. We then have the rocket ship from Phaser Blast. We have a golf ball themed ride from Monty's Gator Golf. We then have another ride from the Phaser Blast section, which is a UFO-based carousel. So I thought this one was pretty cool right here. We now have all of the different variations of the go-kart from Roxy's Raceway. So for the go-kart, there is 7 different versions of the go-kart, and with each go-kart version, you can actually have the frame as its own separate prop. But anyways, there is the Roxy go-kart, the Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Monty, Sun, Moon, and then a basic red version of the go-kart. And again, you can have the frames as separate props for all of these go-karts. And finally, we have this mega ball pit right here, which you can actually run inside. Whee! I'm in the ball pit. Oh, this actually looks pretty cool. And there you guys go. There is the first wave of security breach props. Yep, that's right. We're moving on to wave 2. There are so many security breach props. I could not fit them all in at the same time. So here we are. We have all of the other Five Nights at Freddy's security breach props from the bundle pack. So first of all, we are going to go over all of the arcades. And I gotta say, with Five Nights at Freddy's security breach, the arcades are definitely the main thing that have the most variations. So this might take a little while, but we're gonna try to go through these as quickly as possible. So the first arcade right here that we have is a little drive-in simulator type thing right here. So we have a Roxy Racing drive-in simulator, which is obviously based off of Roxy. So it has Roxy's colors on it. You know, it's got a nice little steering wheel. So there you go. You can drive away on that. And that is the only drive-in style arcade cabinet thing that we have. Anyways, we now have some different basketball versions. So first of all, we have this default basketball one right here where you throw the basketball as far as possible, and obviously you can get some good old tickets from it. We then have a Funtime Freddy and Bonbon styled basketball arcade machine right here. So you have a Bonbon Fun Ball, and with this you can see that Funtime Freddy is dunking Bonbon. Yeah, Bonbon ain't getting dunked on. Bonbon is the one who's getting dunked. So Funtime Freddy looks like he's gone a little crazy. Anyways, next up we have is a puppet themed basketball shooting ring. So we have the Ballistic Puppet Show, and we have 3 different versions of the puppet. We have the regular puppet, we have Nightmare On, and we also have Security Puppet on this cabinet. We then have some coin ride machines right here. So we have a motorcycle one, a car one, and also a rocket one. So with these, you would insert a coin, you would sit down, and it would move. So it would simulate if you were like on an actual motorcycle or car or rocket ship, just going for a nice old ride. We now have 4 different pinball machines to go over. So first of all, we have is BB's Air Adventure. So we have a version of Balloon Boy right here, and there's also a bird screaming for dear life because the balloons are coming in. So BB's Air Adventure, that's a nice little callback to the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 minigame of Balloon Boy. We then have Freddy in Space, which is obviously a callback to Freddy in Space from FNAF World. So we can see Chica and Bonnie, and we also have Freddy, which is actually based off of the designs from Freddy in Space 2. We then have Frostbear's of Frozen Land with Freddy Frostbear and Frostbite Balloon Boy on it. We also have a Frost plush trap on the side of it. We then have Zom Bonnie with a baseball bat and a grenade. We then have a bunch of different color variations of plushies of the main characters. So there's some Chicas, and it looks like there's also some Freddy Fazbears. It also looks like there is a unicorn in there too, so that might be based off of Stanley, but I'm not too sure. So yeah, there's Foxy's, Chicas, and Freddy's plushies in here, but in different colors, and Bonnie has to defeat them all. We now have these wide arcade machines. So these arcade machines can have up to 4 players on them. So first one we have is Fredbear Nom Nom Bites. So this is the arcade machine with the 8-bit Fredbear on the side of it. Again, a callback to the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 minigame. We then have Theo's Brain Buster with Theodore and Ella from the book trilogy of Five Nights at Freddy's. We then have the Plush Trap Chaser, which is from the Fazbear Fright. So we have a nice little plush trap on the side. We then have a Bed Maker, which is, you know, just a bed. We have a Button Masher, which, man, I feel like with this one, you really got to use the joystick a lot for Button Masher. You definitely do. We have Combat Kids with a kid on the side. We also have a female kid on the side as well. We then have a Cosmetic Countdown. So Cosmetic Countdown just has text on the side of the same name. We have Dino Shock, which it looks like, yep, it just has claw marks on the side of it. We have Ends with Stars, which is just covered in stars. The Mega Duel, which is some demon on the side. We then have Milk Spoiled, where the milk has turned evil and is also has a crown, and there is also some cheese and some ice cream cones on the side. We then have Milk Too Sour with a carton of milk with a mustache on it. I'll take over the world. And here we have a little cookie, and we have some more ice cream cones on the side. We then have the Quarter Eater right here with some quarters on the side. We have the Rest and War, which doesn't really have any design to it on the sides of it. We have the Snack Masters, which is basically just a food themed one with a bunch of different foods on the sides. We have the Tantrum arcade machine, where somebody's a little cranky. We have Vision Fallen, where there's just lines going down and also to the side. We have the Worst Wild, which it looks like it has a bit of an ice deer on the sides, but you can't really see the face of the deer. Anyways, we now got to move all the way down here. We then have these chunky style arcade machines. So we have Mangle's Quest, again another callback to one of the 5 Nights at Freddy's 3 minigames, but here you can see Mangle and a dragon and also a lion, I'm pretty sure. We then have the Funtime Fantasy with Funtime Foxy front and center. We then also have the Fourth Closet Funtime Freddy. We have Pig Patch, and we also have 2 little bitty babs with swords ready to fight. On the sides, we have Funtime Foxy, Pig Patch, and Fourth Closet Funtime Freddy. And on the other side, again, Pig Patch, Fourth Closet Funtime Freddy, and also Ballora. So Ballora makes an appearance on this arcade machine. We then have the Fazbear Noir 5 coins. So this one has a Rockstar Freddy / Lefty. The reason why I say / Lefty is because it has the red bow tie, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 coins. So it's obviously a reference to Rockstar Freddy. So it could just be a black and white version of Rockstar Freddy with the 5 coins. We then have the Crystal Knights one right here. So there's not really any special design to it. We then have a Moon Drop Claw Machine, which you actually can't see inside of it, but there are a sun and moon little plushy designs on the side of it, so that's pretty cool. We then have a Monty's Mini Golf, so we have a small little Monty Mini Golf arcade machine. We then actually do have another drive-in arcade style machine, but unlike the Roxy one, there actually isn't a chair that's connected to it, so it's a pretty much a old style drive-in arcade machine right here. We then have all of the regular style arcade machines. We then have Pinwheel Circus Clash of Clowns. So we have Scrap Baby and also Clown Springtrap. So it's a fighting game between Scrap Baby and Clown Springtrap right there. And obviously Pinwheel Circus is a nice little reference to FNAF World. We then have a Glitchy Maze with a Glitch Trap on it. So I'm going all over the place. I'm glitching through the maze. We then have a Mad Science with Dr. Scrap Trap. So it's just Scrap Trap who is turned into a scientist with a little rat and an eyeball. We then have Bonnie Bites with Melted Chocolate Bonnie from Five Nights at Freddy's AR. We then have the Bonbarians, again with Theodore, and also the other rabbit from the Five Nights at Freddy's Fazbear Fright Stories, and also Bonnet is also on the side art as well. We then have Cyber Fox versus Machine Mangle, so there's Foxy and Mangle, and also Lolbit is on this arcade cabinet as well. We then have Hangry Fredbear, so we have a version of Nightmare Fredbear on the side with a bunch of little cupcakes and pizzas. We then have House of the Bear 2, so this is obviously a reference to the Joy of Creation, and you can see there is Ignited Bonnie and also Ignited Freddy. We then have Butter versus Pickles, so obviously the Butters is obviously a reference to Exotic Butters, and then the Pickles is a reference to the Jar of Pickles from Five Nights at Freddy's 6. So it's Butters versus Pickles, so we have the Jar of Pickles and also the Exotic Butters. We then have Theo's Back, so we have another arcade machine with Theodore, but this time there is also Stanley the Unicorn. We then have Street Skate Superstar with Glamrock Freddy on a skateboard on the side. We then have House of Bear, so this is the first House of Bear arcade machine. Again, another Joy of Creation reference, and you can see the silhouette of Ignited Freddy on the side. We then have Chica's Feed and Frenzy, which is the same arcade machine that you can play in Secure to Reach Ruin for the Glamrock Chica mini game right there. So Glamrock Chica's on the side. We then have Monty Skater Golf. Again, this arcade machine lets you play Monty's golf mini game, and there is a little Monty icon on the side. We then have Balloon World, which is the main mini game from Secure to Reach that everyone scratches their head over because you got Balloon Boy and also the daycare attendant in it. We then have the Princess Quest arcade machine. So there's Princess Quest 1, Princess Quest 2, and then Princess Quest 3. And with the third Princess Quest arcade machine, it is darker and dirtier because, you know, it's been stored away. We then have, I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm not even going to try, but it looks like it has some of the little monsters. Yeah, whenever I look at this, I'm reminded of the monsters from Princess Quest, but I am pretty sure it's just a random arcade machine. I do believe that is a caterpillar at the bottom, so I don't remember any caterpillars from Princess Quest. Anyways, we have a blank arcade machine right here, which looks like it has a silhouette of a bird wearing a little crown on the side. We then have All Ninjas Attack, so there's a little ninja on the side with some ninja stars. We have the Cat Club, which has a little cat on the side. We then have the Chicky Farm with some little chickens on the side. We have the Crash Data, where everything's just glitchy. We have the Death Strict, which just has, what is that? Is that a giant peacock or something? So there's a giant evil bird on the side of that one. We have Death to Donuts, which you're never going to believe it, has donuts on the side, and also some skull emojis. So that would not be a fun way to go. Dying to a donut? Man, I want to be able to enjoy the donut first. I mean, if the donut's poisoned, like, as long as the donut tastes good, you know, that's actually fine. We have a Double Zero, which mainly just has a bunch of zeros all over the places. So, yeah. We have the Fever Snow, which is just a snow-themed one. We have the Flip Flop Chop with some flip-flops and some palm trees. We have the Fly Pilot, which just has a little plane on it. We have the Free Morpheus, which is, you know, just some little glitches. We have the Gear Racer, which just has a gear and a car because it's a racing type game. We have Kibble with another little cat on the side. We then have the Lone Berry with some popsicles and also a strawberry. We have the Melon Felons, which just has some gangster melons on the side. It looks like it has a melon and a pumpkin on the side. We then have the Purgatory arcade machine, which just has a little death symbol on the side. But Purgatory, that's a pretty interesting one. You know, it might be a reference to Ultimate Custom Night, how Afton is trapped in purgatory, but I don't know. Might be, might not be. Don't know for sure. We then have the Raccoon machine right here with a nice little raccoon on the side. We then have the Rad Ronda one, where there is actually some text on the side of this one right here. I skate on your grave. I'm trashing boards and trashing gourds. This game is not suited for dweebs, spazzes, or nerds. Present in Punch Vision. All right, so there you go. There's that one. We then have the Sea Crashers, which is just a pirate-themed arcade machine. We have the Space Candy arcade machine. We then have the Sunday Stacker arcade machine, where, you know, you just stack up some ingredients. We have the Test Tube Terrier one, which just has a few test tubes on it. We have the Tower Tipper, which has a bunch of different blocks on the side, so there's cubes and pyramids. We then have the Turbo Clown arcade machine, which just has a little clown on the side. And finally, the last arcade machine is Variation, which is just a simple style arcade machine. And that is, oh wait, no, never mind, I lied. We got more arcade machines. You thought we was done, because I sure did, but nope, there's even more. All right, what do we got next? We got the Werewolf Warehouse with a werewolf on the side. We have the Zany Sword, which is just a droopy sword about a knight. We have a Clown Town Throwdown, so another arcade machine about clowns. We have the Buff plus Tough one, so a fighting style arcade machine right here. We then have the Refrigerator Running arcade machine. Guys, is your refrigerator running? Let me know in the comments down below if your refrigerator is running all right. We have the Lazy River, so, you know, just a nice lazy river. Lazy rivers are fun. We have the Slappy Van Winkle of a little gopher and some crazy old dude on the side. Hey guys, come get your gold, the gold mine's over here. We gotta slap that gopher. I hate you, gopher. I'm gonna slap you in the tooth. So, yeah, that guy's kind of creepy. We then have the Slam Pyre. So it's a vampire that likes to slam things, apparently. We have the Pill Spill, which has some pills on the side, which I'm guessing they got spilled. We have the Punter Hunter, which just has somebody punting a football with some ducks. We have Mookie with a little monkey on the side holding a lollipop. We then have another version of the 5 coins arcade machine, but this version of it has been damaged, so that's interesting. We also have a damaged version of Super Void right here. We then have some little tables right here, which is Catch That Fetch with Fetch on it. We then have one of Toy Bonnie's Easter egg hunt with Bonbon and Bonnet, and we also have Toy Bonnie on the side. Hooray, let's go find the Easter eggs. And then we have some old withered versions of the arcade machine. So we have the big arcade machine, a medium arcade machine, and a small regular arcade machine. We then have a little hockey table right here, and we now have the main stage from Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. So this is from underneath the Pizzaplex. So we have the main sign, the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place, outside of the FNAF 6 location. We have the FNAF 6 stage, the FNAF 6 side stage, which this stage has been completely destroyed right here. The curtain is snapped in half, and there is also a big old dent in the floorboards. We then have a knocked over table right here where the tablecloth has kind of fallen off of it. We then have a table with the tablecloth, and then a table without the tablecloth. We have a fold-in chair, so we have a version of the fold-in chair actually out, and then we have one that's folded up. We then have 2 tile pieces, which is interesting. So there's the white tile piece and the black tile piece. So if you wanted to, you can make your own checkerboard tile on the floor. We have the TV from the Five Nights at Freddy's sister location room in the Pizzaplex. So there's the TV, and there is also the sun clock that is on the wall of that same room. We then have some posters. We have one of Moondrop. We have a Freddy Fazbear Pizzaplex poster. We have a Wash Your Paws poster, or else. We then also have a Sundrop poster, and we also have another random piece of paper. So far, the most reoccurring thing with all these sections is that they all must have at least one random piece of paper in it. All right. We then have all of these different picture frames right here. So here's all these different picture frames. If you want to, you could probably use the material URL tool to get your own custom photos on these picture frames right here. So if you ever needed a picture frame for something, well, this is for you. Here's all the different versions of them. I don't really got that much to say about them. We then have some neon lights of the animatronics and some extra lights as well. So we have Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Monty, Roxy. We have a lightning bolt. We have some cactuses with sombreros, obviously from L Chips. We then also have 3 different variations of yellow stars. We now have a collection of colorful musical note lights right here. We then have the hair and makeup sign, the hair and makeup sign, a altered version of it. We have a ice cream light sign. We have pizza, fried food, drinks. We also have some variations of Freddy from Phaser Blast holding a Phaser Blaster in space with a little space helmet. We have a soda cup. We have pizza, a cupcake, a bow tie, a paw, a little sparkle. We have a pair of scissors. We have a arrow, and then we have a bunch of variations of musical notes. We have some squiggles as well. And that is pretty much it to all of the different lights throughout Security Breach. We now have a mini little drink sign. We then have a giant splash sign. We have another extra little wave sign as well. We have the 1 free photo pass sign. We also have a get a complimentary entry pass sign. And all the way over here, we have a giant cloud, a giant sun. We then have a giant rocket ship, a giant sparkle. We also have some grass with some little plants right here. We then have a giant Lulz Hack head, and we also have Lulz Hack's arm. We then have a cardboard cutout of the 4 main characters, Roxy, Glamrock Freddy, Monty, and Glamrock Chica. We then have Glamrock Freddy's head, Glamrock Chica's head, Monty's head, Roxy's head, and Mr. Hippo's head. We then have cardboard cutouts of Space Glamrock Freddy, Space Glamrock Chica, Space Monty, Space Roxy. We then also have Golf Freddy, Golf Chica, Golf Monty, and Golf Roxy. We then have some cardboard cutouts of the original FNAF 1 gang. So there's Pirate Freddy, Pirate Bonnie, Mermaid Chica, and then Pirate Foxy. And also something to point out with the Mermaid Chica one is that instead of Mr. Cupcake, she has Mr. Clam. So that's a nice little detail that I didn't realize until now. We also have a little driver assist cardboard cutout right here. So now that we've gone over all of the cardboard characters, we can now go ahead and move on to the merch section. So for the merch section, we have the Phaser Blaster, the Golden Phaser Blaster, the Freddy Fazcam, the map that Mapbot would give you, a toy go-kart, we have a pizza pillow, and then we have some magazines of the Glamrock characters, except for Glamrock Chica, but a Glamrock Chica magazine will show up later in this video. You just gotta wait and see for it. But there's a version of Glamrock Freddy, Monty, and Roxy. I'm going to take that one and put that in my back pocket for later. We got some clothing of the characters. So first of all, we have these onesies. So we have a regular red onesie, we have a Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Monty, and Roxy onesie. We then have these different versions of the t-shirts. So there is the t-shirts that have been hung up, and there's also t-shirts that have fallen on the floor. So there is Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Monty, Roxy, a Mega Pizzaplex one, a one with 4 different symbols on it, a Freddy Fazbear t-shirt, a Glamrock Freddy head t-shirt, a Roxanne Wolf t-shirt with a little circle, and then one without the circle that is gray. We then have the different pairs of shoes. So we have the Glamrock Freddy shoes, which are actually the shoes that Gregory wears. We have Glamrock Chica shoes, Monty shoes, and also Roxy shoes. We then have a little Helpy cap, which I'm pretty sure is a nice little reference to the Helpy cap from Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 1, whenever you have to remove it from Freddy in the repair section of parts and service. We then have the different bowling balls. So there's Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Monty, and Roxy. There's also a static bowling ball, a bowling ball that's been corrupted, and then a bowling ball with a orange heart on it. We then have all of the different plushies. So throughout Security Breach, there is obviously plushies of the main characters, but there's also different variations of the plushies. So throughout the Mega Pizzaplex, you can see the same plushie in different positions. So here's all the plushies in all their own unique positions. So we have the Glamrock Freddy plushie right here. We then have the Glamrock Chica plushie. We have the Monty plushie. Then we have the Roxy plushie. We have the Sun plushie. And finally, we have the Moon plushie. So there's all the plushies. And again, they all come in different variations of different poses. We then have a Glamrock Freddy pinata, a Glamrock Chica pinata. Then we have some character pinatas. So again, we have Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica. We have Monty, Roxy, and also El Chip. And we have one of Mr. Cupcake. We then have some masks. So we have a mask of Glamrock Freddy, Monty, Roxy, and Glamrock Chica. We then have the tragedy mask and the comedy mask. We then have some balloons. So there are 5 balloons based off of the main 5 characters. So there's Freddy, Monty, Roxy, Chica, and also Moon. So there is no sun balloon. We then have the regular balloon shape. So there is a regular white balloon, a balloon with the Freddy Fazbear Pizzaplex logo on it, a rainbow balloon, a balloon with Monty's texture on it, and then the same balloon, but this time with Montgomery Gator text on it. We have a white and black polka dot balloon. We have a purple to black balloon. We have a pink and yellow balloon with a heart on it. We have a purple and blue balloon. We have a white with black sprinkles balloon, and then we have a orange and red balloon with blue sprinkles on it. And now if we go all the way over here, we have some chubby star balloons. So again, these come in similar colors. So there is the solid white one, a white and black polka dot one, purple to blue, pink to white with a yellow heart, pink to yellow with a yellow heart, the white with black sprinkles, the rainbow version, Montgomery Gator, and then another version of the Montgomery Gator one, but this time with Monty's face on it. So actually, does this one over here have Monty's face? Oh, there's a little star on the back of this one, and there's also a heart on the back of this one as well. So, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, this one has hearts on both sides. This balloon has a star on the other side. So with some of these balloons, they have the same image on the back, but some of them don't as well. So, yeah, and also another thing too, with spawning all these things, some of the props do spawn in backwards. So sorry if I do miss a small detail like that. Anyways, we got this balloon with flowers. We have one of Roxy. Roxy. We have a little white one with a bunch of black stars on it. We have the same Roxy one, but this time instead of black lines, there's black stars. We have a Glamrock Chica balloon, and then one of Glamrock Chica's character with some hearts. We have a Glamrock Freddy face one, a Freddy Fazbear one, another orange one with blue sprinkles. Then we have one of Glamrock Freddy's character on it with stars, one of Monty's characters with stars on it. We then have these thick balloons that I like to call them. So there's a solid white one, one with Monty's textures, one with moon, one with 2 hearts, one with polka dots, an orange one with blue sprinkles, a white one with black sprinkles. Then we have the lightning bolt one. So there's the regular white one, the white one with black sprinkles, the Monty one, the blue to the purple one to black, the pink to yellow, the rainbow one, and then another orange one with blue sprinkles. We then have some circle balloons. So there is a solid white one, a white one with black polka dots, a happy birthday one, a purple to blue one, a dark purple and black one with a yellow star, a Monty texture one, a pink to yellow with a yellow heart, a solid white balloon with a black heart on it, another Chica character balloon, a rainbow balloon, a orange balloon with blue sprinkles again, a Glamrock Freddy character balloon, a Montgomery Gator text balloon, a Monty head balloon right there. We then have these accurate star balloons, so a solid white, white with polka dots, the purple to blue, pink to yellow, the black to dark purple with a yellow star, the rainbow balloon. We then have some character balloons of Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Monty, and Roxy all in the star position. We then have a Monty texture one, a solid white one with a black heart. Then we have the letter balloon. So there's one with letters and also one with numbers. So with the letter balloons, there's only enough letters to spell out happy birthday. So as you can see when you spawn them in, it says birthday P, and obviously the P is used to spell happy. So HAPPY. So you can spell happy birthday with the letter balloons. You then have the number balloons that go from 0 to 9, and there's also different variations of all these balloons. There's way too many different variations, so I did not spawn in all of these, but we will go over all the variations at least once. So I spawned in all of the different variations of the number 9, but again, if you want these textures on the other balloons, you can easily change the skin to them. So first of all, there is the solid white one, then there is the white one with black flowers, the white one with black stars, one with black polka dots, one with black hearts, one with black sprinkles, and then there is a rainbow version of it. And now we actually get to move on to some of the food and drink sections with the vending machine. So we have the 4 main vending machines, obviously representing the 4 main characters: Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Monty, and also Roxy. So Glamrock Freddy's flavor is orange, Glamrock Chica has pink lemonade flavor, Monty has sour lime flavor, and Roxanne has grape flavored. So again, there is the 4 main vending machines. We then have the drink dispenser, and there is 8 different flavors on it. There is also a Glamrock Freddy version of a soda dispenser. We then have the Monty Mystery Mix box. There's also the Monty drink, which I'm assuming the Monty Mystery Mix is used for that drink, with a little star from Monty's glasses. We then have a Glamrock Freddy coffee cup from the Fast Pad. We then have the different versions of the Fizzy Fast characters. So there's Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Monty, and Roxy. We then have some ice cream. So there is 2 variations of the large ice cream. We then have the smaller ice creams right here. And we also have some little accessories. So we have a brownie, we have cookies, and we also have a little cupcake on some mini plates. We have a bowl, a big plate, a small plate. We have a pizza box, a slightly dirty pizza box, and then a really dirty pizza box. We have pizza dough and then a cooked pizza. There is 4 different variations of the hot dog. We have some corn dogs, which one of them is pink. I don't know if I would eat that one. We got some chicken wings. We got some accessories as well. We got pastries. We even have a single French fry. Editor, listen, buddy. Listen, you've been doing good editing this video so far, so there's your pay. Your pay for this video is this one single French fry. I hope you enjoy it.
My only food! Now I'm gonna starve.
We then have 4 different variations of the big ice cream cone. There is a blue one, a purple one, a red one, and then a white one. We then have some smaller ice cream cones, and there's 2 variations of that. We have these mini ice creams right here. We then have some separate sweets as well. So these are mainly cookies. We also have some little candies and some candy wrappers. We also have some candy canes. So there is a bunch of different variations of the candy cane right here. We then have some more candy canes, and we have some lollipops as well. So there you go. Here's all the different variations of lollipops. And also we have a Glamrock Chica popsicle. We then have some chocolates and some peppermints. The peppermints come in 4 different colors: orange, green, blue, and red. We then have a giant cake, a smaller cake, and then we have some tiny cakes over here with some cupcakes. So obviously these cupcakes come from the Cupcake Factory. We then have some piles of candy bars right here. So we have a pile of Freddy Fudge bars, a pile of Foxy Plunder bars, a pile of Faz bars, and a pile of Lemon Chica bars. And with all the food items now out of the way, we can now move on to the other section of Security Breach. So first of all, we have is this tire barrier, which would be used in the Roxy Raceway. We have a giant box. We have a table, another table, one that is fully clean, one that's slightly dirty, and then one that's really dirty. Then we have another version of the table. So again, a perfect table, a slightly dirty table, and a really dirty table, and then another version of the table as well, but this time with 2 shelves on the bottom instead of just 1. So again, clean, dirty, and then really dirty. Then we have single tables, clean, dirty, really dirty, and another variations of it where the actual bottom part is see-through and transparent. So again, clean, dirty, and really dirty. Then we have a round table. We have a old dented locker. We have a old chair. We have an old damaged shelf. We then have a little blue spinning shelf, which I'm pretty sure comes from the gift shop area where you get the Mr. Hippo magnet. We then have some soda boxes right here, a clean one and then a dirty one. We then have a little coat hanger right here, or a clothes hanger, where t-shirts and merchandise would be stored on throughout the Mega Pizzaplex. We then have a giant brick wall right here. And then finally, we have this cute itty little bitty cactus. Oh, it's so cute and adorable. Ow, I pricked myself. And with that, we have finally gotten through the entire Security Breach section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. So again, like I said earlier, the Security Breach section, in my opinion, is the largest section so far in the bundle pack. But now we are going to move on to the Ruin DLC, and luckily there's not that much stuff in it. I mean, obviously I do hope more stuff gets added to this section in the future, but after going through all that stuff from Security Breach, I'm about ready to take a break from Security Breach. So now we have the Ruin section. So first of all, we have is Shattered Monty's legs. Oh, Monty's legs. Monty's legs, no. So in Security Breach Ruin, there is a way to find a Monty shrine, and on top of the shrine, there is Shattered Monty's legs. So here is his legs as a little prop. So there is Monty's good old legs. Now we have the trash can characters again, but obviously they are now dirty because this is from Security Breach Ruin. And there is 2 different variations of each trash can character. So there's the Glamrock Freddy trash can, and pretty much the 2 different variations just have the trash inside of them slightly altered whenever they are pouring out. So again, there is a Glamrock Freddy, Glamrock Chica, Monty, and Roxy. We then have some old gift boxes. So we have an old version of the orange gift box, and there is also a sparkling orange gift box as well. That's pretty old. We then have the buoy, which there's 2 different variations of it. The first one is just a dirty version of it, and the second version of it, it's been pretty much destroyed. So that's lovely. We then have Monty's ride, and there's actually 2 different versions of it in this pack. There is the regular one, and then there is the old Monty ride right here. So there's 2 different variations of the old Montgomery Gator ride that is now dirty. So you have this first version, which is just a dirty version of the version I showed off earlier from the Security Breach pack, but then you have this older model version of the Montgomery Gator ride. We then have some cardboard cutouts. So we have a Foxy cardboard cutout. So we have one of him with a lasso, one of him running, and one of him holding balloons with a party hat. We then have a cardboard cutout of Chica in a dress glass holding some pizza. We then have two variations of the steel wool sheep. Obviously, steel wool are the people behind Security Breach, so they have added themselves into the game as a little cardboard cutout character. So there is two different variations. There is the regular version, and then there is the birthday version, and finally there is the birthday cake. And we also have some more cardboard variations of the Wild West area that takes place in Security Breach Ruin. We then have the old forklift right here, and there's two different versions of the old forklift. There is the regular version, and then there is a version of it where the actual forklift part is separated. So if you wanted to actually maneuver it, have it raised or lowered, then you can easily do that. We then have this old gear stick, which again is from the actual forklift itself. So if you wanted to, you could reattach it and actually move it, so that way it can kind of, you know, be in sync with the actual forklift. We have a old barrel. We have a arrow sign that has up and down on it. We have this old bag. We then have the Vanny AR mask, which on the inside it has all of the technical stuff inside of it. We then have the Glamrock Freddy walkie-talkie that the Mimic uses, and then we have the Roxy walkie-talkie that Cassie gets. We then have this little voice box, which is actually for Glamrock Chica, because something you can do in Ruin for some weird reason is give Glamrock Chica her voice box back, and this is the model for it. Then we have some big old piles of trash. So we have a first pile of trash right here, a second pile of trash, and then a third pile of trash right here. And then we have some different rocks and some old fungus mushroom type stuff right here. So there's some regular mushrooms, and then there is some glowing versions of the mushrooms. And just like that, that is everything in the Ruin section. So there you guys go. That is it to Security Breach Ruin and also Security Breach. All right, we are now moving on to the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted 2 section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. So first of all, we have the general props. So we have a dangling light, and we also have a bunch of different variations of boxes. So we first have a stack of Freddy Fazbear Mega Pizzaplex boxes. We then have some basic boxes right here. We got some tiny boxes. We also have a smaller version of the Freddy Fazbear Mega Pizzaplex box with the little Freddy Fazbear logo on the side. We then have a medium-sized Freddy Fazbear Mega Pizzaplex box, again with a nice little Glamrock Freddy on the side. We then have a broken down cardboard box and another old opened up cardboard box. We're now moving on to the props from the salon section. So we have the main salon carpet. We also have the staff bot head and torso for the mannequins that the staff bots use. We have a little shelf right here which can be used to display some objects. We have a little makeup table, so in the mini games you do have to apply makeup to the staff bots and also Roxy, and this little table is where all the makeup is stored. We then have the spin-in table, so the staff bot torsos would be stored on this table, and if you want to access a different one, all you got to do is just spin the table around. We have a nice little monitor. The monitor tells you what needs to be done for whatever animatronic you are dressing up in the salon. We then have a platform with the Freddy Fazbear Mega Pizzaplex logo on it. We have a UV sterilizer, and we also have some little makeup bottles right here. We then have Roxanne's go-kart on display, so it's on this little podium right here. We then have some different chairs, so we have some stools, and we also have some salon chairs. These are mainly from the Roxy sections of the salon mini games. And then we got a big old plant. There's also a broken version of the chair, by the way. So there is the regular chair, and then there is the broken down chair, which is in the final salon minigame with Shattered Roxanne. So everything's destroyed. But anyways, as I was saying, we got a nice, beautiful plant. We then have another variation of the trash can. So it's just a trash can with a nice little checker pattern on it. We then have some towels. So there's a stack of towels, a little folded up towel on its own. And then we have a bit of a hanging towel right here. We then have a nice little carpet platform. We have a hair dryer right here, which is orange. We got a pair of scissors, a little cup, and some bottles, and also some napkins. We also do have a stack of paper right here, so an unopened stack of paper. We then have the Glamrock Chica magazine. So again, it's interesting because the other magazines of the other Glamrock animatronics are in the Security Breach section, but for some reason only the Glamrock Chica magazine makes an appearance in Help Wanted 2. We then have a nice little hand right here which displays all the different types of colored nails. So there's purple, green, blue, yellow, and red. We then have have all the different types of hairstyles. So there is the circus baby hair, the nanny bot hair, Montgomery Gator's mohawk, and Roxanne Wolf's hair. We then have the different hair pieces. So we have a little hair bow tie with feathers, a regular hair bow tie. We then have these different hair bands and also tiaras, which one of them is in the style of like endoskeleton fingers. So that one isn't creepy whatsoever. But we got one with flowers, one with a little star. We then also have Moon's hat and also a regular blue baseball cap. We then have some headphones, which one of these headphones actually belongs to DJ Music Man. Now we are moving on to the glasses. So with the glasses, the first pair of glasses belongs to Mapbot, the second pair belongs to Montgomery Gator, and then the third pair is just a yellow and a pink pair, and then we have a regular pair of sunglasses. We then have the 4 different styles of mustaches. We then have a green bow tie, a regular red tie. We then have a Roxanne collar, and then we have all the other necklaces. So there is some necklaces with some beads, and we also have some with just some different colors. We then have all of the different earrings. So first of all, we got the big blue hoop earrings. We then have the purple star earrings. We then have the different types of nose rings right here, which one of them is super tiny right there. We then have Bellora's eyeball and also Bellora's jaw. We then have the Biddy Bab eye and the Biddy Bab jaw. We have Glamrock Chica's eyes, Glamrock Chica's hair, Glamrock Chica's beak, and also Glamrock Chica's hand. We then have Montgomery Gator's jaw and also a set of his teeth. We then have Roxanne Wolf's jaw and also her mask from Security Breach Ruin. We then have the endoskeleton eye, the endoskeleton ears, the endoskeleton jaw, and we also have some staff bot eyes that are pretty much faded. So yeah, here's a better look at these old dirty staff bot eyes. But anyways, we are now moving on to the Fizzy Faz section. So from the Fizzy Faz section, we first of all have the little tube containers right here. This is where you would get the different flavors of Fizzy Faz. We then have the transport tube. So there is 2 different versions of the transport tube. There is one where the door is closed. That means it's being sent off. And then there's also a version of it where the door's open. So that way you can put in a new cup of Fizzy Faz inside. We then have the 2 different monitors right here. We have a nice little Freddy Fazbear Mega Pizzaplex desk. We then have the little control panel and also a lever that the staff bots use on the monitors, because in the Fizzy Faz section you have to make sure all the staff bots are working, and on the cameras the staff bots are at their own little sections, and at their own little sections they have their own little control panels that they work on. We then have a giant vent prop, a giant pipe prop. We then also have a stack of binders right here. We then have the different Fizzy Faz cups. So there's one with the actual lid on it, and there is one with the lid off of it. Also, something else, just in case if you are curious, yes, you can take the cups and actually put it inside of the actual machine right here. So I thought that was a nice detail right there. And then you can have the lid be closed, and then boom, it gets sent off. So I thought that was just a nice little detail I wanted to point out. Anyways, we got the tablet that the main staff bot that comes by and checks up on you holds. We then have the emergency button. We have a little button holder right here, so the button would just, you know, be like right there on that little thing. We then have a square button, a circle button, we have a giant light, and then we also have a hard hat that all of the staff bots wear in the Fizzy Faz section. Now we are going to move on to all the props from the cold storage section. So first of all, we have is the little monitor next to Glamrock Freddy. We have Glamrock Freddy's chest cavity, because you can rip it off. So here it is as its own unique prop. We then have a little tray. We then have the little air conditioning unit right here, which has the cold and hot settings on it. So the little hair dryer right here for the AC. So you can either have it blast out cold air or hot air. We then have all of the different types of shape tools. So there is a circle, a square, a triangle, and also a star. We have the 2 versions of the batteries. We have a brand new battery and a super old battery. We then have the diagnostic plug and also the diagnostic lever, which is as its own separate prop. We also do have a bit of a coil slash spring. We then have all of the different shapes for the different types of shape tools. So again, you got the circle shape, a square shape, a triangle shape, and a star shape, and all you have to do is insert one of these tools into said shape. We then have all of the stuff from the food prep section. So first first of all, let's go over the counters. So there are two different variations of the counters. So first of all, we have this gray counter right here, which there is one with an upper section, and then we have a smaller version of it without that upper section. Then there is a brown/white version of the same counter prop right here. We then have the menu for the blendies, and we also have these little pretzel symbols. So one is the regular pretzel, while the other one is the meat pretzel. We then have the oven and the pizza rolly machine thingamathing, whatever you call it. We have the little bell that you use to ring up the staff bots. We have the roller. We have the sauce gun, which has the hot sauce selected. We then have all of the different types of ladles. So obviously you first have the empty ladle, and then you have the ladle with all of the sauces and also side dishes. We then have the two different types of cups. Obviously one is a regular drinking cup, while the other one is in the style of a blendy. We then have all of the little food dishes. So you have the first food dish, which is closed up. You then have one with a little flan, one with nachos, one with pizza, one with a potato, one with a taco, and another one with a burrito. We then have the little side dishes. So you have the empty one, and then you have the other one with all of the other sides. We then have the popcorn bin. So there is a giant popcorn, and then there is also one with popcorn actually inside of it. We then have all of the different variations of the salads right here. So here's all the different salads. So with the salads, you can just have a regular salad, one with cheese, one with meat, and one with not meat. And then you can also combine a bunch of different variations of it. So here's all the variations of the salads. We then have a nice little thing of French fries. We have the good old chica chowder right here. We got a nice good old moldy hot dog, my favorite. We then have the two different types of pretzels, so the regular pretzel and also the meat pretzel. We then have another burrito. We have a slice of moldy cheese pepperoni pizza, yummy. And now we are moving on to all of the different variations of the pizza. So first of all, we have the dough. So whenever you first get your dough, it looks like a giant ball like this, and then you start flattening it out. So here's the different stages of the dough pizza. Then you have the regular dough and also the cooked version of the dough pizza. And then here you can add all of the different variations of pizza. So with the pizzas, you can add pizza sauce, tomato sauce, nacho cheese, Fazbear sauce, cheese, meat, and also not meat. And again, you can add them in all of the different combinations. So here's what they all kind of look like. With Gmod, the lighting on them is a little weird for some of them, but here is all of the different variations of the pizza that you can make in Gary's mod. So yeah, there is a ton of different variations. Like this is just insane. And again, you have the dough pizza on the left side, and then the actual cooked pizza on the right side. We also have some more pizzas all the way over here, so the fun never stops. So if you like pizza and you love all the different variations of pizza, this is the pack for you. But with that, that is pretty much it to the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted To section of the Gmod Five Nights at Freddy's bundle pack. But we can't forget about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie section. So in the FNAF movie section, there is only one prop in this section, and that is the drawing. So in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, obviously the drawings are pretty important. So here is all of the drawings. Again, they are all connected as their one own unique prop. And again, this is the only thing currently in the FNAF movie section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these drawings. So let's get a closer look. So we have one of Chica, another one of Chica, one of Freddy with a birthday hat. It looks like we have a drawing of 3 balloons, one of 3 children, one of a mom and a child, one of Bonnie the Bunny with a rainbow, one of Freddy Fazbear on the stage, one of a security camera, one of 2 figures on a stage. We have a big pizza and a little pizza holding hands. We got a pizza and a fork. We got Mr. Cupcake. Let's see, we got a Let's Eat Chica. We got some Happy Kid. We got a kid in Freddy Fazbear. We got a blue cupcake, a pizza, a giant pizza, and a small kid. We got another drawing of Bonnie. We have one of 2 fishes, and it seems to be a squid as well. We then have another drawing of Bonnie and some rainbows. We have one of a star. We have a drawing of Bonnie, Chica, and the cupcake. We have one of an astronaut, Among Us. We then have one of Balloon Boy with ha 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 ha. Yeah, I can never forget this drawing right here. We have a happy birthday drawing, and And let's see, what other drawings are there that's important? I think that's pretty much it. All the other drawings are pretty much just a bunch of scribbles. We then have the main drawing right here of Spring Bonnie holding hands with the 5 missing children. So there you guys go. There's all the drawings in the little Five Nights at Freddy's movie section. All right, so now we're moving on to the final 3 sections of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. So we have the Joy of Creation section, the Fredbear's Family Diner section, and the Extra section. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into the Joy of Creation section. So first of all, we have is the furniture. So we have a nice little set of blinds right here, which you can peek through the blinds to see that little Fredbear over there. I see you, Mr. Fredbear. So we got a nice little set of blinds. We then have a bulletin board with some little photos on it, which is a photo of a pathway of some cars. There is also a photo of what appears to be an airport, and then we have a little piece of paper on the left side about the 9 rules. We then have a nice little desk, a nice little roll-in tray right here. We then have a roll-in chair and a regular chair. Then we have a radiator and then some electronics. So we have all of these different types of electrical boxes, and it looks like we have some type of old radio right here. We then have a nice little desk light, so this will be sitting on the desk. We then have a security camera right here, so another variation of the security camera. We then have a calendar, which is set to August 1971, and also the 25th is circled. So what's going to happen on the 25th of August? Well, you'll just have to wait and see. Honestly, I have no idea what's going to happen. If something now happens on August 25th this year, it wasn't me, okay? I just want that to be said. All right, so now we got a coffee cup. We then have a pack of cigarettes, and we also have a ash tray. We then have 2 different types of books right here. So we first have this first book, an analysis of warfare. We then have the second book, which is the Anatomy 101, and we also have a nice little baseball cap. We then have some different versions of the filing cabinet. So we first have this first version of the filing cabinet where there is 2 smaller drawers on the top. The second version actually has a 1 giant drawer on the top. The third version has no drawer on the top, and then the final version of the filing cabinet is pretty much the same as the first version. So yeah, we then have all of the different types of cardboard boxes from the Joy of Creation section. So we got the small cardboard box, a big cardboard box, another cardboard box with some cool tape on it. We got this cardboard box that is kind of cracked open, so you can kind of take a little peek inside. We then have these other cardboard boxes that has the word hell on the side. So oh, I get that now. Instead of it, so you guys know the Shell station, right? Instead of it being a shell, it's hell. Oh, okay, I see you there. So we got these little hell cardboard boxes right here. So there's another cardboard box that's kind of cracked open. We have one that is completely opened up. We have a package that is completely wrapped up. We have a package covered in tape. Man, yo, deliveries be like nowadays, bro. You ever get like a package you've been expecting and it's something very valuable and also pretty expensive, and it shows up at your doorstep and it looks like this? Yeah, that is not a good feeling. I've had that happen to me a couple times, but most of the time the stuff inside is completely fine, but the package has been completely torn apart. So that's always lovely. Anyways, we got another package covered in tape that's cracked open. We have this version that's been completely like closed on in, like completely caved in. We then have some more cardboard boxes over here, which some of them are slightly damaged. We then have this cardboard box where there's 2 variations. There's this medium one and then a larger version of it where it's actually opened up. And then we have, oh my gosh, man, bro, I hope my package doesn't come to my door looking like this. This is the worst thing that can happen. There's like nails and dirt and stuff inside. Oh, okay, well that one's destroyed. Anyways, we then have another little pack of cigarettes right here. We then have all of these different file holders right here. So there are 3 different versions of it. There's one with nothing in it, and then the other 2 have different files inside. Then we have a nice little folder holder, and there is also 3 different types of folders right here. So these folders look pretty much just like rectangles, but these are folders. So on the edges it is smoother. on a certain edge. So these are folders, believe it or not. So there is 3 different colors of folders. We then have the United States of America flag. We have a fire extinguisher. We then have a little bag filled up with other bags, and then we also have some other bags right here, which looks like it's like a takeout order. Gonna go pick up my bagged lunch right here, getting some burgers. But anyways, after that, that is pretty much it to everything in the Joy of Creation section. So again, it's basically just a bunch of accessory type props in here. But anyways, we are now moving on to the Fredbear's Family Diner section. So for the Fredbear's Family Diner section, we first of all have the Fredbear plushie and the Spring Bonnie plushie, which I showed off earlier in this video in the FNAF 1 section. So the Fredbear's Family Diner section has a nice little shortcut to spawn in both of these plushies. We then have the different variations of the Puppets music box. So there is a white Puppets music box, the classic blue music box, and then a dirty version of the blue music box. We then have some arcades from Fredbear's Family Diner. So we have a Fredbear arcade machine, a Spring Bonnie arcade machine, a Chica arcade machine, a Foxy arcade machine. Then we have a Nightmare arcade machine, and then finally we have a second version of the Spring Bonnie arcade machine. So I gotta say, with the arcade machines, the most interesting thing is that there's not a regular Freddy and also a regular Bonnie arcade machine, but then there's a Nightmare arcade machine. So like, yo, you want to play my arcade machine? I promise it's nice and friendly and peaceful. Just look at my little face. You can trust me. Yeah, I don't know if I want to play that arcade machine. But anyways, we got some Fredbear's Family Diner chairs. So there's 2 different versions. You have the version with the Fredbear logo on it, and then a version of the chair without the logo. We then have the Fredbear's Family Diner tables. We then have the fan and also the speaker from Fredbear's Family Diner. We have a nice little gift box. We then have a sun and 3 different versions of the cloud props for the main stage. We then have a door with a window, which you can faintly see through it. And then we have the employees only door, the parts and services door, the exit sign, a dumpster that is green, a trash can, and also some Spring Bonnie. Oh wait, no, that is not Spring Bonnie. What is that amalgamation right there? So these are some blueprints for the Abomination, which this character is pretty much a mix of Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Fredbear, and Spring Bonnie. So all 6 of those characters combine their powers to form whatever the heck this guy is. So that's blueprints to that Abomination right there. Get it? Abomination, because that's pretty much his name. Okay, anyways, so that is it for the Fredbear's Family Diner section. We're now moving on to the final section of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack, the extra section. So first up we have is Mr. Collision Bear. So yeah, we have this cursed ragdoll right here. So if you guys do remember from the very start of this video, when I first showed off the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 ragdolls, I talked about how the ragdoll collisions were really good, and this is Collision Bear. So this is a ragdoll based off of the collisions for Freddy Fazbear. So if I go ahead and type in that good old command in the console, you can actually see the wireframe of Collision Bear. So this is the collisions of Freddy, but as his own ragdoll and as a solid gray. So if I actually go back over to the FNAF 1 section and spawn in Freddy Fazbear, it's basically Freddy's collisions thrown on this beautiful Collision Bear over here. So I don't know, this guy's really random, but hey, I think that's pretty cool to have him thrown in here as well. So anyways, let's go ahead and disable that. Next up we have is whatever the heck this little face is with some squares. What is this even called right here? This is called the DC09. So I have no idea what this thing is, but all I know is that it's staring into my soul. I'm scared. Anyways, we are now moving on to the Easter section. So for the Easter section, we have some Easter eggs. So we have a regular egg, a white egg, a brown egg, a black egg. Then we have some eggs based off of the characters from Five Nights at Freddy's. So we have a security guard egg, a Freddy Fazbear egg, a Bonnie the Bunny egg, a Foxy the Pirate egg. Interesting fact though is that there's not a Chica egg. Anyways, there is a Golden Freddy egg, a Puppet egg, a Shadow Freddy / Purple Freddy egg, a Glamrock Freddy egg, a Glamrock Bonnie egg, Glamrock Chica, Roxanne, and a Monty egg. And the interesting thing about the Roxy egg is that she actually has a tail, and her tail does have some physics. And also with the Monty egg, just like the Monty ragdoll, you can actually lift up his glasses to show off his little eyes. She's like, hello there, how's it going? I'm pretty cool, you know? Anyways, we then have an admin egg right here, which is based off of Scott Cawthon's OC admin dude. So you have this blue egg that does glow white, and you also have an old man consequences egg. And then the final egg we have is we're now moving on to the Christmas section. So first of all, we have is this nice beautiful Christmas tree with the exact same ornament all over the place, which just has a little jingle bell symbol on all of the ornaments. So we got a nice beautiful Christmas tree. We then have a Santa Foxy prop. So this is based off of the Foxy from Security Breach, but now he's got a little Santa outfit on. And there is two versions of this guy. There's the regular version, and then there is a burnt dirty version of Santa Foxy. We then have a little Santa hat as its own little prop, and it does actually have some ragdoll physics for the end of the hat, so that's a nice little detail. We then have two versions of the Glam Rock trash cans, but now they have been Christmasified. So we have one with a little drink on it. I believe that is eggnog. And then we have one of a little present. We then have some chairs from the Mega Pizzaplex, the fold-in chairs, but this time it is a Christmas version, so it has a little Christmas tree symbol on it, and they are green and red. And just like the other chairs, there is 5 different versions. You have the version that's folded up, then the version that's unfolded, and then the 3 damaged versions of the fold-in chair. We then have a Christmas table right here, which again has that red and green color pattern to it. We then have some red and green party hats. We then have the different gift boxes with red and green bows. So we have the first 2 gift boxes, which are just solid colors. Then we have the different types of wrapping paper, and again, you can either have the red or green bow tie on the present. So there's all the different types of gift boxes, which are the square gift boxes. Then we have these different rectangle gift boxes. So we have one that is pink with hearts, one that is blue with stars, a orangish one, like a dark orange to a brownish color, a gift box that is like a super light blue with some confetti on it. We then have this gift box, which honestly, whenever I look at this one, reminds me of a pumpkin. We have this red and black one, this green one, this blue one with snowflakes on it, a gray gift box, and then a yellow and black gift box. We then have some Christmas banners. So just like the other banners I showed off earlier in this pack, there's 2 different colors. There is the green banner and then the red banner, and they have text on them that says Merry Christmas. And then there's also versions of these banners without the text, so that way you can put whatever text you want on them. Anyways, now we are moving on to the garlands. So for the garlands, there are 3 different colors of garlands. So there's 3 main colors. So you have the regular dark green, then you have the white garlands, and then you have a lighter green. So for the dark green, you can have a red bow tie and a red line. Then you have a red bow tie with white. Then you have a blue bow tie with blue. Then for the white garlands, you can have red and red, red and white, blue and blue, and then blue and white. And then for the light green ones, then you can just have a red and red, blue and white, and then yellow and yellow. Then we have these fancier type ones. So these ones actually have ornaments dangling from them. And the main difference with these ones is that they have different colors. So the first one actually has different colors to it, like red, blue, and yellow thrown into it. But the other one only has blue and white. Then we got some more variations down here, which is a darker green one, a lighter green one, a yellow one, a gray one, a purple one, a white one. So we have some more versions of the white one. So this white one has some pale colors to it. This one has some purple colors to it. And then this one has some blue colors to it. And finally, there is this one right here, which again has a bunch of different variations, which is a snowier type of green. So again, it's got that red, blue, and yellow and white all mixed up all around it in here. Then we have all of these wreaths. So these come in different colors. We have this red and yellow one, this blue and light blue one, this red, yellow, and white one, a red, green, and yellow and white one, a solid yellow one with red and green and white on it. We have a gray one, a light green one with orange and purple bow ties, a solid white one with yellow bow ties and yellow ornaments, white one with purple ornaments and purple bow ties, a bluish one. Then we have Santa's sack of presents right here. So this is actually a movable ragdoll prop right here. So you have Santa's bag of presents, so you can take the presents to deliver to all the children. And if you actually look in the bag, you can actually see some presents inside of the bag. But if you want to, you can actually toggle the presents so that way there is nothing inside of the bag. But I do really think that this is a cool prop right here. Anyways, we then have some of the heads from the parts and services section of Five Nights at Freddy's 1. So we got Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, and this time they all have little Santa hats on. Oh, isn't that cute? We then have a nice, beautiful little snowman. Oh, look at Mr. Snowman. Yo, little snowman. Isn't he so cute? So yeah, we got a little snowman right here. Then we have a Christmas version of the jack-o'-lantern. So the jack-o'-lantern is white and blue, and we also have a little carton of eggnog. Now, for the final section of the extra section, we have the Glamrock candy section. So for the Glamrock candy section, we have this giant Candy the Cat neon light, and we also have the Candy the Cat text light. We then have a giant Candy the Cat head. We have a portrait of Glamrock Candy. We then have a Glamrock Candy trash can, and we have some Glamrock Candy cups. We have a Glamrock Candy plate. We have a Glamrock Candy helmet for the Roxy Raceway. We have a Candy the Cat mask. We have some Glamrock Candy shoes right here with the little Candy the Cat icon on it. We have a Glamrock Candy bowling ball, a little Glamrock Candy light, a Glamrock Candy sit-in plushie, and then we have some other variations of the Glamrock Candy plushie in the security breach style. So again, here's all the different variations of the Glamrock Candy plushie because he can have different poses. And just like that, that is everything in the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. We did it, guys! We did it! We got through the entire pack! This video, oh, it's so long, but we made it! We made it to the end! We did it, guys! We made it to the end of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. Alright, so now that we've checked out all of the sections from the Gmod FNAF bundle pack, I want to go ahead and say which section is my favorite. So out of all the sections we checked out in today's video, I have to say currently my favorite section from the Gmod FNAF bundle pack has to be the FNAF World section. I gotta say, I love all the different ragdolls to it, but I also love all of the different props as well. So that way you can actually kind of recreate FNAF World in Gary's mod. So I have to say FNAF World is definitely my favorite section, but I also have to give props to the security breach section. The security breach section is also another one of my favorite sections. Again, the security breach section is definitely the largest section in the Gmod FNAF bundle pack, so that's another reason why I really like it, because there's a lot of stuff to choose from. And again, with there being so many different variations of all these little props and stuff, can really make things feel a bit more alive and give things a bit more uniqueness as well. But besides all of that, I do also have to say I really did enjoy the FNAF 1 section, especially with the ragdolls. Same with the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 ragdolls with the stands. I really gotta say I really did like the Freddy stand and the Bonnie stand. So there is also obviously a couple sections that probably do need some work. Again, the Gmod FNAF bundle pack is definitely going to get updated more and more in the future. I just went over everything that is currently in this version of the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. So obviously I feel like FNAF 4 definitely needs some attention. FNAF 6 could definitely use a little bit more love. Sister location, yeah, obviously needs attention. Let's see, FNAF AR special delivery, yep, it does need some more attention, but they recently added these ragdolls and props, so hopefully there'll be more stuff in the FNAF AR section in the future, even though FNAF AR is dead, so I guess there's no rush there. Yeah, so overall I really did enjoy the Gmod FNAF bundle pack, and there is a ton of props in this pack that I'm definitely going to start using in a future episode. So again, if you guys do want to check out the Gmod FNAF bundle pack for yourself, it'll be linked in the description below. Also, make sure when you do subscribe to it on the Steam Workshop, make sure you get all of the required items on the workshop page, so that way everything everything works properly. And again, throughout this video, I only had like 4 props that had missing textures. So overall, really fantastic. So again, let me know if you guys have any missing textures with this pack. And if you do have major missing textures, make sure you have all those required add-ons. But anyways, that's going to be it for today's Gmod FNAF review video. Overall, absolutely love the Gmod FNAF bundle pack. So thank you guys so much for watching. And also, if you guys haven't left a like on this video yet, please leave a like. This video is like, what, over 3 hours long now? Please leave a like. It's the least you could do. Also, feel free to subscribe if you want to see future review videos that hopefully aren't 3 hours long, because I rarely do 3 hour long review videos. But I hope you guys did enjoy this video because it took forever to make. So please leave a like.